wraps, your boneless chicken nuggets, your chicken sandwiches, your waffle fries. They've even got sweet and sour sauce packets, honey mustard packets to go with those chicken strip meals. And to make it even more convenient for you, 8 spots at the Walk-Ons parking lot for you to pull in and pick up. They will bring you your chicken with curbside service. Walk-Ons to save the day. Rogers, your pops was Mr. Shreveport, right?
Yes, he was. First ever.
Big muscle-bound guy.
Yes, he was.
You like muscles?
I do.
I like my cars with muscle.
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me?
Landers, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. They basically are the Mr. Shreveport Bossier of muscle cars.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, because they flex the Challenger and Chargers all the time. When you pull up next to one of those, it's almost like, is that Rogers Hampton Sr., like, embodied in a Challenger?
Especially the ones that were red, because he had red hair.
Landers, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram.
Edge Concrete Cutting cuts concrete. Edge is expanding our team capabilities and our geographic reach. From Tyler, Texas to Vicksburg, Mississippi, and from Ashdown, Arkansas to Alexandria, Louisiana. Edge can handle your flat sawing, electrical slab sawing, core drilling, early entry sawing, concrete demo and removal. Call Edge Concrete Cutting at 925-3745. That's Edge Concrete Cutting at 925-DRILL.
It's football season, and that means it's time for a little home cooking. Everyone's got their favorite home team, whether it's in high school football, college football, go Hogs, or it's the NFL. One of our favorite home teams, Bayou Bell Waste. C-Mac's in the house. What's up, buddy?
My wife would say go Cowboys. I say who dat. But when you think of hometown, think of the hometown dumpster service, Bayou Bell Waste. Right here in the Shreveport-Bossier area since 1997. If you need a dumpster, call the home team. Call Bayou Bell.
And speaking of home teams, does this mean we get to see Russell in a cheerleading outfit?
Absolutely.
Your local uniform professional since 1973, Sports World, bringing you the early riser.
If it's LSU sports, it's on 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back, everybody. 1130 The Tiger, Tim Fletcher Show, Rogers Hampton. Adam Hester is here. We're glad you're chilling with us. On Monday, be here with us in the 7:30 to 8 o'clock half hour. Chris Herron of the local Taco Bells will be here to unveil the winner of our hashtag Live Moss Fletch Taco Bell promotion. One lucky school in the area is going to win a free taco day at their school. You have 1 week left to enter, so we want to see those videos this week from the final regular season games. Post them on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook with the hashtag LiveMossFletch. And here's another good news for you fellas, is Chris is going to be bringing in Taco Bell breakfast. So, yes. Sunday night, don't eat. Monday, we've got Taco Bell coming in between 7:30 and about 8 o'clock. So that'll be fun. All right, so Cowboy fans, are they feeling pretty froggy today, you think? Are we
going to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Isn't that how that works?
I think so.
Week to week.
They're up, they're down, they're up, they're down.
They're, what, a half game ahead? No?
Half game ahead of the Eagles.
Okay.
Not exactly what I would call a comfortable margin.
The Eagles are I don't know, they're a weird team too, though.
I think they're starting to figure out their running back situation.
It seems that way, yes. I have noticed that.
I think that Wentz is, I don't know. Before this season, I thought the Eagles were going to be really good, and I think they will be good again.
Pass defense is not very good, right?
Right. They struggle.
Yeah.
And they did not make any moves to shore it up whatsoever, I don't think, before the trade deadline. And so they're not exactly helping their own cause. They may be cash strapped for all I know.
Well, no, they were in on Clowney before that trade happened, and then they were trying to get in on Jalen Ramsey, right? And then I guess just didn't offer the right pieces for that.
Mm. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But, of course, if you were watching the game last night, you saw the black kitty cat come onto the field with the Giants leading 9-3 and the Cowboys struggling. If you were listening to the game on Westwood One with Kevin Harlan, who I think is the preeminent play-by-play guy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Everybody likes Kevin Harlan. Kevin Harlan not only was able to describe the action on the field involving the football aspect, but he also did a deft job of describing what was going on with a little black kitty cat at the same time for the radio audience, courtesy of Westwood One.
Oh, there's a cat. A black cat is taking the field. A black cat is running from the 20 to the near side, the 10. From the 39 in Dallas, here's a short throw down the middle, caught by Ingram. Caught at the 35, went to the 30. Now the cat running the other way, and so is Ingram at the 30 to the 25 to the 24-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. It's a catch run of 15. Now the cat is stopped at the 50.
So is it bad luck for the Giants? Is it bad luck for the Cowboys?
I don't know, but they've stopped playing. The players with hands on hips are watching the cat run and zigzag all over the field. The black cat is at the other end of the field. He's
Black
at the
Cat
8.
doesn't know that it was last Thursday that was Halloween. Thursday night
right,
football,
yeah.
not Monday night football.
He's a little bit late. Now he is sitting and looking. Now he's at the 5. He's
Who brought the
walking.
cat?
He's walking to the 3. He's at the 2. And the cat is in the CDW red zone. CDW, people who get it now, a policeman, a state trooper has come on the field, and the cat runs into the end zone. That is a touchdown. And the cat is elusive, kind of like Barkley and Elliott. But he didn't know where to go. Look at, they're trying to corner him, and they got him in the end zone. There are state troopers all around this cat, which now climbs up into the stands. And the fans are running for their life. Now it goes back on the field again. And it's running in the back of the end zone. And it runs up the tunnel.
Kevin Harlan doing a nice job. And after that kitty cat appeared, the Dallas Cowboys went on to outscore the New York Giants 34-9. Dak threw 3 touchdowns, no picks, 174 yards. So the black cat doomed the Giants. And people are asking for the black cat to go home with Dallas. Did they take the cat on the flight with them?
Sure.
This cat needs to be everywhere the Cowboys go for the rest of the season.
I think that's perfectly reasonable.
I don't see how you could punch a hole in that,
Rally
to be honest.
possum, rally,
Right.
Yeah.
So now you've got Sabrina, the teenage witch or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got, of course, Brian Setzer. And some stray cats have made life much better for the Dallas Cowboys. That was a kind of a must-win game for the Cowboys.
Sure.
I predicted a Cowboys loss. And
I saw that.
I put it out there.
People had some issues with you.
They did not seem to enjoy my prediction. I think Trey Rogers, our buddy over at Landers Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, was joking when he said blocked. But you never know. Some people do take that serious.
Sure they do.
And I said that I still want Dak to throw for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns. Well, he threw for about 280 and 3 touchdowns. So, I got that. I wasn't always
Right.
I wasn't rooting necessarily against the Cowboys, although someone did ask if Rodgers had taken over my Facebook page because of this anti-Cowboy stance that I had. And it wasn't, I was just making a prediction. Just thought that every home team had won all week long in the NFL. The only visiting team to lose in their own stadium, or the only home team to lose in their own stadium, were the New York Giants last night. So I kind of felt like wasn't that bold of a prediction.
I mean, last time they went in that stadium, it didn't turn out so well for them,
True. Lost to the Jets.
Yeah.
The Jets only win. Golly, geez, I read about 2 articles from the New York papers yesterday about Adam Gase and the Jets. Whew. You talk about, as much as Hawk fans are up in arms about Chad Morris, imagine Jets fans. The Big Apple, where there is no couth.
I think if the Giants were good.
Yes. Yeah, if the Giants had won last night and placed themselves back into the NFC East picture, and the Jets were coming off a loss to the Dolphins, and Adam Gase is supposed to be this offensive genius, by the way. Oh. And as one of the recaps was that the Jets, at least the Jets, the Dolphins, they're tanking, that they have a plan. They're completely, they've gotten rid of all their pricey vets.
Mm-hmm.
They're going youth. They're going to try to rebuild everything from the ground up. And so you knew as a Dolphin fan that your team was going to stink on ice this year.
Right.
And that there was going to be some growing pains. Man, look at the future. We're going to have 3 first-round picks. Going to get our quarterback of the future. We're going to be able to get maybe a great pass rusher, maybe even a really, number 1 wide receiver. This is going to be awesome. The Jets, who are worse than the Dolphins, literally, did just the opposite. They brought in Le'Veon Bell. They've added some puzzle pieces. They're trying to win now and are horrible at it. The Dolphins are trying to lose now and are better at winning than the Jets, who are trying to win, are at losing. So the Dolphins try to lose and beat the Jets, who are trying to win.
Yeah, right.
And can't, except against the Cowboys.
They're awful uniforms.
Those are bad.
They're bad.
Did anyone watch any of the Jets-Dolphins game? I was only watching it on the Red Zone channel.
No.
But the Sam Darnold interception at the end zone, at the goal line.
People in New York and Miami didn't watch that game.
Everyone should do themselves a favor. Anyone who complains about this quarterback sucks or my quarterback makes the worst decisions I've ever seen a quarterback ever make, just watch the Sam Darnold interception in the red zone at the goal line. You'll be singing the praises of your quarterback from now on. Oh, you got it? Adam, what are we seeing here?
He's rolling to his left. Big time. Oh, my God. So he's rolling, to his left, which is already a problem.
Right.
He gets pressured. Let's see. The linebacker comes.
Unencumbered. Free pass.
There is nobody. Look, they're engaged, but
and then he kind of just shot puts it.
Yeah.
To the goal line.
I'm trying to see. All right, it was look.
Is it?
They might have the worst receivers in football, but look at them trying to run a pick play, and look how bad their receivers are at it. Watch those 3 guys right there.
Yes, Crowder is the
look.
He falls coming out of the gate,
and it looks like the receivers are trying to run back to the right while he's rolling left. Le'Veon Bell is like,
it's one of the worst.
Too late for me to go to Pittsburgh.
It's one of the worst offensive plays you'll see all season.
Oh my God,
that's Jets football right there.
I mean, maybe his arm got hit. I don't
look at the emotion. He's trying to throw it,
or not hit necessarily, but he's getting his body kind of pulled away from his arm. But dude,
it was horrible.
There's a cameraman that should have caught that.
Yes,
that guy right there should have caught that. And he's got one of those vests on.
Right,
on both knees, holding the camera. That's who should have caught that.
Instead, it is in the field of play. Not
he didn't even throw it in the end zone.
Couldn't get it into the end zone.
They're on the 7.
Yes, got picked off at the 1.
Kind of a nice play by the DB.
It was a nice play.
What are the receivers? Who's that supposed to go to?
I don't know. Jamison, Crowder, I guess.
Whew.
They are so bad, and they beat the Cowboys.
They kind of deserve what they get, to be honest.
They're the Jets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Horrible head coaching hire.
Yeah. Horrible head coaching hire. Horrible general manager who they got rid of after
they hired the coach.
And apparently the owner is a pretty decent fellow, the Johnson guy.
Is that still Woody Johnson or whatever?
It's his son or whatever now.
Okay,
so Chris Johnson. And apparently he's like, hey, we suck. We're going to try to be better. And he's, answers all the tough questions and stuff.
Lord.
I'm telling you, it's one of the worst plays you will see in the NFL this year.
Look at Robbie Anderson staring at what happens. Like he's right up there. Watch him. Just for real?
And he was one of the ones they were dangling his trade, but although he wanted to stay there, he said, I want to stay in New York. I'm glad I didn't get traded.
Yeah, that was his wife talking.
Yeah, exactly. She's thinking, Cincinnati. Are you kidding me?
I want to live in those places.
Cleveland?
Live in New York?
No. What in the world is happening in Jacksonville, Florida? Ugh. So congratulations, all you Cowboys fans. I know that you guys are going to feel that you are them boys again. So congratulations. It's a big win. Beat the Giants again. Beat them with Eli and beat them with Daniel.
Maybe they just suck.
Draco says maybe Sam was throwing to another ghost.
Could be. I think he is. He's in trouble.
Also, Garrett has a black cat and coaches the only team that Sam Darnold didn't see ghost against.
True. And that's weird because the Cowboys' defense is actually really good.
Yeah,
they were playing without Leighton Vander Esch last night. And, man, they're good. That Cowboys defense is good.
They are.
Cowboys offense is good.
Like Griffin fan says, also Michael Bennett had a good game.
Yes, he did. DeMarcus Lawrence had a really good game. Michael Bennett had a good game.
Get what you can out of Bennett because at some point he's going to
take a left.
He's going to do what he does and just ruin the whole thing. But you can get the rest of the season out of him, you know.
Michael Bennett's the guy who brings that incredible punch. You're like, man, this is the tastiest punch. And then about halfway through, you go, wait a minute, what's that at the bottom of the punch? Is that a turd? I think he put a turd in the punch bowl. And all of a sudden, the punch is ruined. That's Michael Bennett in a nutshell.
When Pete Carroll has grown tired of your antics.
Exactly.
Pete can put up with a lot.
Yes, he can.
He's got a long leash.
Yes.
He's got a long leash.
All right, kids. Tim Fletcher Show, 11:30 The Tiger.
I've watched this 40 times.
It is like you want to see different angles of it.
Yeah.
I want to see every angle.
I want all these angles.
I want all those cameras. I want to see what everyone is doing.
And to the left, like the Zapruder film. Back
exactly.
And to the left.
The second spitter. It's just incredible. I mean, and I want to watch. I want to see the guys going off the field, their body language as they make their way back to the sideline.
You can see Robbie Anderson. You can kind of see where that's trending. Like, for real? Look at him. He's like, huh? Okay.
When we come back, Reynolds Moore will join us, the head coach of the Benton Tigers. Boy, they were giving the Airline Vikings everything they wanted and then some.
Yes.
Had a 2-score lead with 6:34 to play in the game. We'll talk to Reynolds about that and so much more. Brewer Quality Homes, 3830 East Texas in Bossier City. Nate Dizzle is back in the hizzle. He's ready to lock and load with you guys, giving you incredible deals on incredible homes, whether it's Jessup Homes, manufactured down in Waco, Donnie's plant that he's got down there with some other fellas, whether it's Capco Homes, the folks that are going to be entertaining Donnie and Nate Dizzle and company at Bryant-Denny Stadium this week, or maybe it's those Franklin modular homes, or go see Tiny House Tom. Tom Hofflinger will get you into a beautiful brand new 399-square-foot tiny house. He is the Tiny House Tom specialist. Brewer Quality Homes, 3830 East Texas in Bossier City.
There's 3 guys blocking one player while the guy runs through. It's unbelievable.
It is.
What a disaster of a franchise.
That one play is one of the New York Jets' 2019 fortunes. Press play. And in 12 seconds, you will find everything you want to find about the New York Jets right there. It's fantastic.
In the old days of NFL films, when they would make it look like your team won the Super Bowl, even if they were awful, they're going to have to get a lot of miles out of that Dallas game.
Yeah, they are. Did I oversell this?
No.
Okay.
It's unbelievable. Tim, it's just played on a loop 50 times. I can't stop looking at it. And what different people are doing. He is
literally staring at it in wide mouth, gape mouth wonder.
And the Dolphins employees over here like, yeah, we got it. And the Dolphins owner upstairs, no, drop it, tip it to Crowder. When we come back, Reynolds Moore, Benton Tigers head coach, right here on 1130 The Tiger with Rogers and Adam. Back after this. Your local uniform professional since 1973, Sports World, bringing you the early riser.
1130 The Tiger, your home for LSU sports, powered by Jack Spring Electric.
Journey. Don't stop believing. Pretenders.
Back on the chain gang.
2 incredible bands. 1 amazing night in Bossier City. Journey. Pretenders. CenturyLink Center, Saturday, August 29th. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at livenation.com. VIP packages and more. Visit journeymusic.com.
You may not notice it's a protein bar. Dark chocolate and crunchy peanuts will do that. Plus, they'll get your family moving again.
Don't stop moving. Don't stop moving.
Nature Valley Peanut Butter Dark Chocolate Protein Bars.
'Twas the holiday season, and in your garage, a brand new John Deere. That's not a mirage. With neighbors admiring your shiny new ride, it's your year for a Deere to fill you with pride. So if additional offers are what you desire, see our low rates before they expire. Now start up your engines and drive out of sight. New John Deere equipment for all, and to all a good night. Make it your year for a Deere. See your John Deere dealer today to discover more amazing deals and attractive financing offers.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions, like online skills tests, which let a candidate show that they're the right hire. And we give you this toy monkey, which will bang its cymbals when the right resume appears. Okay, there is no monkey.
I said there is no monkey!
But skills tests, that's a for sure.
See why independent research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Visit Indeed.com/promo today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply.
In Louisiana, there are thousands of miles of utility lines and gas pipelines buried just beneath the surface, sometimes multiple lines in one area. So if you or a contractor you hire is digging a hole to put in a new fence or a pool or for any other reason, you run the risk of hitting underground lines even by digging just a few inches. And then what happens? Maybe you knock out power to your neighborhood, and sometimes it's even worse. Sometimes there's an explosion with injuries or possibly even death. It does happen every year, and there's a simple way to avoid it. Before you dig, call 811. That's right, just call 811 2 days before you dig and tell the operator your address. Someone will come out and mark the locations of the buried lines so you and your contractor can avoid them. It's simple, right? And it's free of charge. And it's the law. Louisiana One Call operates 811 as a public service. And to promote public safety, Louisiana One Call and 1130 The Tiger reminds you, call 811 and know what's below before you dig.
1130 The Tiger, your home for LSU sports, powered by Jack Spring Electric.
Your local uniform professional since 1973, Sports World, bringing you the early riser.
KWKH, Shreveport, Bossier City.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at first, the pitch, swing and a miss! Tigers win! Tigers win!
Hey, everybody, what's going on? This is the Tim Fletcher Show, 1130 The Tiger. It's 6:55. Rogers and Adam Hester, not Rogers, Hester and Adam Hester, but Rogers Hampton and Adam Hester are here. They're together a lot in the mornings, but they've kept their own names. GBT, the great banking team, they've got, here's the deal with GBT. They have 3 locations around town. East Texas next to the Villaggio in Bossier, Mansfield Road, Williamson Way, and 3400 Line Avenue in Shreveport. Every one of them fully staffed. And, of course, when you call 318-843-6228, that's 318-843-6228, that's customer service. It's amazing what happens when you dial that number. Fill in the blank, gives them Blank and Trust. How may I help you? They actually say their name. They don't say fill in the blank. This is Tamara. How may I help you? Whoa, 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 whoa. Where's the robotic voice? Where's the punch 1 if I want this, or, press 2 if I want that, or press 7 if I need that, press 0 if you want to talk to an operator. There's no phone punching. None. I wanted to punch James Thurman's phone earlier, but there's no phone punching when you dial GBT. Customer service at your fingertips. The great banking team, Gibbsland Bank and Trust. Joining us now on the Mudbugs Hockey Hotline with hopefully a better connection than we have with James. That could have been us, by the way, not Thurman's problem.
Possible, yeah.
It's your head coach of the Benton Tigers, Reynolds Moore. Hello, Reynolds. What's going on, buddy?
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
Well, good, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. Not bad.
That's good. What a wild game Friday.
Yeah, just a little bit.
6:34 to play in the game. Your Benton Tigers were ahead of the Airline Vikings, the 7-1 Airline Vikings, 16-7.
Yeah.
What happened from that point forward?
I think with part of our game plan, we felt like, was to eat up time of possession, which is something we're not normally, known for. But the first scoring drive, I think, for us was a 15 or 16 play drive. It went majority of the second part of the first quarter into the second quarter, and so we did a real good job of that, I thought, in the first half of dominating time of possession and the line of scrimmage. And then second half, moved the ball a little bit in the third quarter there, kind of back and forth, maybe traded some possessions. In the fourth quarter, I think just the two guys we had using kind of at a power back, super back, H-back, whatever you want to call them. They were, Jaden Miller, we call him Day-Day, and then Davis Sellers just did a great job. But Davis starts at defensive end, and Day-Day's a linebacker, and I think they both just got tired. And they were on the field the majority of the game. And when you do that to the kids that playing 5A football against a team like Carolina, has a ton of depth and rotating D-line guys in and out, and able to kind of spell their guys some, it just kind of it'll wear on you eventually. And I think our guys just got a little bit tired, and we really needed to be able right there to complete a couple passes, and we had a couple shots, and we just missed them. We had a couple of drops, and just didn't, just kind of weren't able to kind of get anything going and get some points there at the end. We really thought that interception that they returned for touchdown on the fake punt. We kind of at that point thought it was over. At that point, not over like, oh, we can just relax, but I thought, okay, that's when we're at a 2-score lead now again, and kind of felt good about what you had going there. And man, credit to Coach Meeks and Airline. They didn't they didn't give up. They stayed in the fight, and I think that's all you want from any team. And then I told our guys, we're playing for a chance at the playoffs, and they're playing for a chance at the district championship. And I think you get in a situation like that, and to be honest with you, I thought we were way more physical than they were the first half. I thought we were. I don't think they were expecting that, honestly. I think their kids weren't. Coaches may have been. It's one of those deals where coaches understand what teams are capable of sometimes, but players don't buy in to that. They don't believe the hype. They look at our record and we shut out Parkway, and Parkway beat them by 3 touchdowns. Whatever.
Right.
We did the same thing. We played Parkway, and our kids had a bunch of them had gone and watched them play Ash, and they came in like, oh, Coach, we're gonna blow them out. And I'm like, guys, shut up. Like, the best team you played this year so far. And I think that's probably something we all deal with as coaches. And they regrouped at halftime, and they're in the second half, and got it together, And so, credit to them for staying in the fight and not folding there.
Obviously, Coach, there was other things at play here in your game. There was a long timeout because of an injury to Cameron Barnett. Yeah. If you can update us on that, what's the latest on Cam?
Yeah, I talked to his mom, and she's okay with me kind of communicating with the media about it. But he's the final diagnosis was a cervical sprain in his neck and a concussion. And so my wife and I went after the game and checked on him, obviously. And Cam being having the mindset he did when they were carrying him off the field in the stretcher, I'd been there talking to him, and he's got his mom on the field there with him, and they were carting him off, and he's like, hey, where's Coach? Where's Coach? I said, I'm right here, man. What's up? You okay? You good? You're going to be fine? And he's like, Coach, I'm sorry for fumbling, man. And I got to the hospital, and his mom said, Coach, he wants to talk about this fumble. And so, he was unconscious. You could see it on film. Helmet right there on the chin will do that to you. And my wife taught him in AP biology 2 years ago, and so he was kind of out of it when we came in. And it was me and my wife and Coach Smith, our position coach for running backs, and he's talking to me and Coach Smith, and he's like, oh, hey, Miss Moore. He's like, you're such a great biology teacher, the greatest ever, And so we're kind of laughing at him, kind of picking at him. And so when he keeps apologizing for the fumble, and she finally goes, Cam, look, your body did what it's supposed to do. You got knocked out. Everything. You're going to let go of everything. Like, it's not your fault. Your body did what it's supposed to do.
Right.
That's a biological fact. He's like, okay, Miss Moore. And so, we finally got him to stop worrying about that. The kid. We were in that game because of him and our offensive line up front in the first half. Cam, he carried the ball 34 times.
Wow.
Had another 2 catches, I think. We just literally. I looked one time, and there's 2 different times where he carried the ball 6 times in a row. And it was just get back up and go. Get back. And I look at him, you good? And he's like, yes, sir, give it to me. And we had done that kind of week before at Southwood. He got a lot more yards on less carries. But, he was in there. And, with Airline's defense, they're very, very physical. And so it wasn't like it was, easy runs. And so we tell him all the time. I think one of the things that Coach Downey had on the walls left when I got here was, you're either the hammer or the nail. Don't be the nail.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think he was the nail all night. He was delivering blows, but it's a very, very physical run. So he was already, kind of his body was probably, pretty sore, or going to be sore the next day. But he went home late Friday night, early Saturday morning. They did a CT scan, MRI, just to confirm everything to make sure. Went home, talked to his mom Saturday morning, and talked to him. He was just, head still hurting, neck still sore. And then even yesterday, we had him stay home from school one more day just to make sure that he got the rest his body needed. And he sent me a text. I guess it was Saturday afternoon. They had to cut his jersey off of him. And so he sent me a picture of the jersey stretched out, and he said, "Hey, Coach, you want this back?" I said, "Bro, you earned that. You can keep it, man." And so he was, that was one of the things his mom said he kind of freaked out about. Was like, "Coach, you gonna be mad?" She said, "I think you'll be okay, Cam. They're gonna cut it off." So he has a warrior spirit in him, man. He's done that for us all year, and he's a kid that I think I hope he was worried about not being able to play again. I said, well, look, I think if we can win this week, we can win for you. We can get you back in the fight next week, hopefully, and you can play some. I said, but if not, I think you're a kid that deserves a chance to play at the next level. I mean, certainly with his size and speed, I think you've got the opportunity. Hopefully, he'll have the opportunity to do that. So, but I'm just a lot of prayers up for him, and I'm just very, very thankful to the good Lord that he was watching over him, and it was really neat to hear our student section has a speaker set up there. They kind of use to lead cheers with, and one of our guys. Immediately when they got him down, it's eerie silence. Our kids were all kind of standing there, and you don't know what's going on. He's not moving, and right. Our trainer's down there, and he's holding his head still, and it's like my wife says she knows when I go to the toolbox to get the screwdriver that's not a good sign.
Right.
And so everybody kind of knows it's bad. And I even saw a text that one of my daughters sent my wife in the stand and said, "Mom, I'm scared. This looks bad," and so everybody was that way, and so Dalton Dial is a great kid, and he just kind of led a prayer right there over Cam at the field, over not our PA system, but over the speaker they have there, and it was really neat to see that and see our kids who kind of concerned for each other, and knowing where to turn to for that help. So it was really neat to see that, and I was so thankful Cam's okay.
As we all are, buddy, and our best to Cam. If you talk to him, obviously there's a lot of folks who may not have ever heard of this young man or seen this kid play, but they all want to know how he's doing, and it certainly could have gone a whole lot worse there. So it sounds like this is about one of the best results you could possibly get out of this.
Absolutely. I mean, it could have been a lot of different things there. Yeah. I mean, two things that, he took a helmet right up under his chin when you're knocked unconscious for any amount of time. And then obviously when the neck's involved, you just don't ever know what's going to happen and what. So very, very thankful that this was real. That's what people are, how was the injury? And I'm like, well, relatively speaking, it was phenomenal, because it could have been so much worse. So you're right about that.
So Reynolds taking on a Natchitoches Central team this week down at Turpin Stadium. Their defense is lights out. They are nasty, and I mean that in the most glowing way. They're a nasty team. They will get after you. They will wear you out. They try to get into ugly games, and they try to win ugly games. Yeah. And they want to make it as hard on you and frustrating on you as they possibly can. What's the game plan against a team like that?
Well, I think that we saw a similar defense Friday night. Similar mindset, similar styles, similar fronts in a lot of situations. And so, Natchitoches doesn't use quite as much pressure tactic as Airline does, but they kind of, they're flying around. Nasty is a good word for it. We've been kind of debating all week about how they compare to that Airline defense we saw last week. Plus I think the first thing we got to do is I guess not thinking about it, maybe that's silly, I don't know, but practice was not great yesterday. You know, in my mind, as I'm preparing practice plans for the week, top of my notes, for yesterday's practice, said, hey, guys, we're going to build off last week. So, because in my mind as coaches, we've been trying to get them all year to stop worrying about the results, but just focus on the process and worry about, playing the best you can, and the results will take care of themselves. Because if you give that sort of effort and you play the way you did Friday night, you're going to win more than you lose, always. Like, I truly believe that. And in my mind, that showed our kids, our fans, everybody else, hey, you got a team that's one-loss team playing for this championship this week, and with under 6 minutes to go, you were still up. With 4 minutes to go, you were up. 2 points. Whatever it was, but you still you had them on the ropes. So in our mind as coaches, hey, these kids know they belong now. These kids understand that hey, this isn't because nothing against Southwood, but they played really hard and they played some really good games this year, and got a big win Friday night. But the week before that, they didn't have a win. Mm-hmm. And so when our guys win that game, even though they know it was a hard-fought game, they know it was a tough game, in their mind, we beat a team that was winless. And so it's a great confidence builder, but it's also at the same time everybody's beating them. And so when this combination of this idea that, hey, Southwood put it together and played a complete game and won the game, so, they're better than their record indicated, like we've been telling you guys, and then you take one of the best teams in the district, and and in 5A for that matter, it looks like, and you go toe-to-toe with them physically for 4 quarters. I mean, to me, that's something you come out and you're fired up about. As coaches, we were. I'm not a moral victory guy. I don't like losing. I can't stand it. But when you look at the effort the kids gave, I have no complaints. And so we're thinking, hey, we're going to build off this. And yesterday's practice wasn't quite as good as I wanted it to be. It was a little bit sloppy. And I think the more we talked about it as coaches, the more I just think that there was a little bit of a hangover from Friday night, just kind of, hey, we gave everything we had, and it didn't turn out the way we wanted to, and it was a big rivalry game, and now I've got to listen to them talk for another year, just like they had to listen to us. But you know what I'm saying? And so I think that's something we didn't take into account. So the first thing we got to do is make sure that we right the ship today, that in the sense of not anything panicking or anything else, just in the sense that our guys understand that, hey, we got to move on from that game now. And so now you got one more. You get the biggest game of the year because it's a playoff game for us. We win and we're in, we lose and we go home. And so the first thing is getting that. The second thing is I think we go with a similar game plan. Is that they're a team that wants to have the football in their hands. They need to have it in their hands for a long time to score. Most of the time, and they're driving the ball down there in that offense. And so, you want to jump out and make them play from behind the whole time. Kind of a similar mindset from an offensive standpoint as you would have when you're going to play somebody like Bird, who's going to have the ball for a long time. And then, from a defensive, my mindset is, hey, let's stop them early on. Let's make them do things that they're not accustomed to do and they don't like to do because it's not what they do a lot of. And so that's kind of an easy summary of it. It's a lot easier said than done. But you'd like to, I feel like special teams wise, we have a big advantage there. I feel like, looking at the film, I feel like we've got an opportunity to take some chances there and kind of get in some field position stuff there that will give us an advantage, I think, too. So, tough team, very good team, a lot better than 3-6 record. Mm-hmm. You look, and I think we've caught everybody at their best game, at their best time. If we catch Natchitoches week 3 or 4, maybe it's different. Maybe, they weren't quite gelling the way they are now. I remember you talking to Jason Brelton, David played Halton, and he said, this is the hell this has been all year, and Sepulveda does the same thing the next week. And I'm like, guys,
thanks
come on,
a lot.
Man.
Yeah.
And so it just seems like every week everybody's gotten healthy that week or whatever else. And, that's just kind of the way it works sometimes, just timing. And, for us, it's been bad timing this year. And, you never know. Next year may be better timing, or this week may be better timing. And you don't know. And so you just kind of go out and play with who you got, and you go out and you play against who they got. And we liked our game plan a lot last week, but thought it was a really good game plan on both sides of the ball. Almost finished it out. And then so this week, again, I told our guys, if you can't get up for this game and playing for one more week, something's wrong with you, because this is a playoff game for us.
Reynolds Moore and the Benton Tigers win and they're in, lose and their season is over Friday night. Yep. First season in Class 5A. Could see an extra week. You never know, man. It's going to be interesting.
That'd be big for us,
That would be a pretty big deal for the first year in 5A to be able to go to the postseason. So a lot at stake, obviously, on Friday, and obviously Cam not playing. but you know he is going to be rooting hard for you guys. Hopefully he'll be able to even make the trip.
Yeah, he'll be there. I think he'll be there Friday night.
That'll be a nice little pick-me-up, I think, for the fellows on the sidelines as well. So
seeing him at practice today, I think he'll probably come out and watch practice today. I think that'll be a big shot in the arm for him too, and I think that's a big deal. As I told them, is you go win one for Cam to get him one more chance to play,
Right.
So
whatever works, man.
That's right.
The rallying cry. Reynolds Moore. Taking care of business. Benton Tigers. Good luck Friday night against Natchitoches, buddy.
Hey, thanks, guys.
The old helmet on the chin. Hey.
That just sounds great.
I wonder if did he get a busted chin, too, out of the whole deal?
Yeah,
Lucky he didn't break his jaw.
Oh, yeah.
Lucky there. I mean, he's very, very fortunate that he didn't go much more sideways than that. You don't see the old helmet on the chin as much with, causing concussions as you do the helmet.
No.
The ear hole and the... Whew. That mama was scared to death, and rightfully so.
Sure.
Good gosh. I just know that whenever I went down with my first concussion that I woke up and my parents were tending to the other kid. His knee was hurt.
Thanks, guys.
Not movie quality, but that's okay. No, I did. I went up my first time I got knocked out on a football field. Unfortunately, there were 3 times that I got knocked out playing football, but the first time was in a game, and it was a spring game. And I woke up, came to, and there was nobody, but I think my friend Nat was the only one like, you okay? And all the coaches were around the senior who had hurt his knee on my head. And I'm like, huh? What are they going to do for you? I'm sleeping. Don't bother him. He's asleep. He'll be okay. He's fine. Fletcher, you falling asleep during film? No, sir. Are you falling asleep during the game? I was knocked out. I wasn't actually choosing to sleep.
Get some rest, kid.
It was one of the weirdest things. I woke up and I just saw the stadium lights. I was like, oh, man, my head hurts. And I looked up like with one eye, and there was Nat. I'm like, hey, what happened? I said, Paul Thompson ran into you with his knee. I looked over there, and every coach was on a knee and had the doctor out with him. I'm like, ow. Started throwing up on the sideline. Had a little school dance that night. Another one, Bites the Dust, came on. And I was like, I think I'm going to go dance to this song. Took the girlfriend out there. I was like, I got to get out of here. Room spinning. Got to go throw up.
I had one dance like that once. No, not everything was okay.
And I think, if I remember right, a teacher had to take me home, and the girlfriend decided to stay at the dance.
Hook up with you, buddy.
Probably hooked up with the guy with the knee.
That's good, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is your knee okay?
Hey, we got to have you next week against Star City. I'm sorry, Hamburg. Jeez Louise. Rogers and Adam and I on this lovely Tuesday, November 5th, right?
Yes.
We'll get into a little LSU news before we have Skip Holtz join us at the bottom of the hour. So the Michael Divinity situation, how that's unfolded, that and so much more in a little bit. Chevyland, dude, Bubba and Horn and Jerry Montgomery, that is a triumvirate of great power. Jay Wang. And, of course, we were introduced on Friday night to Cody Clark, who is obviously best buds with our buddy Ruben.
It sounded like it.
Ruben describing his brand new Chevy Colorado that he got over at Chevyland. He said, look, he goes, I went in there not thinking I was going to get anything. He said, because my credit is in the dumps. He said, it's trash. It is literally in the dumpster. And we worked out a deal. He goes, I got a great note, and I got a beautiful brand new Colorado. He goes, I love Chevyland, and I love Cody Clark. So there we go. Little passing on the props to Cody Clark, a young man salesperson over at Chevyland, 7500 Uri Drive in Shreveport. They know how to pick them over at Chevyland, and they know how to get rid of them, too. Pick them as far as salespeople, get rid of them as far as vehicles. Because they have got 9.5 acres of new cars and trucks. 2019s, the 2020s are on the way, if not already here. So they got to make room, man. As much room as they have there, they can't stack them on top of each other. These aren't pancakes, people. These are Chevys. Although Rogers likes to pour a little syrup on his Chevy. Syrup on his Chevy. Then, yes. Yeah, Prince passing out pancakes.
Likes pancakes.
We'll be back. Chevyland bringing you Friday Football Frenzy. We care about you at Chevyland, 7500 Uri Drive in Shreveport. Back right after this.
Welcome to Walk-On's Bistro and Bar, where every dish starts from scratch. Fresh ingredients bring our food to life. Mouth-watering cuisine, unique flavors, and we're always more than happy to share our Southern charm and culture. A love of life, family, food, friends, fun, sports, and celebrations. Walk-Ons. It's game day with the taste of Louisiana.
Brewer Quality Homes is knocking it out of the park. Franklin Modular Homes. This really is kind of the future of home buying, home building, home purchasing, all in one spot. Brewer Quality Homes, 3830 East Texas, the home of Franklin Modular Homes. It's kind of fun, Rogers and Adam, to see a business take on the big box stores and still thrive like Sports World. You know?
Still holding their own.
Still holding their own. And Rogers, you had a kiddo that played soccer.
Yes.
All growing up.
Yes. And we needed equipment. We needed shin guards. We needed soccer balls. We needed headbands. We needed water bottles. I needed an ice chest. And that was just when she was a kid. It's been there since 1973 when I was 9 years old. So guess what I needed back then? I needed a bat. I needed a ball. I needed a glove. I needed some cleats. I needed
Sports
a
World,
headset.
8809 Jewella. ShapenToyota.com. It's open 24/7. Ken Shapen Toyota, Highway 59 in Marshall, Texas, just off I-20. They will bring the cars to you for a test drive. That's what I said. They will bring them from Marshall to Shreveport, Bossier for you to check out. Shapen Toyota. You know, Roger, some people say I'm a ham.
Oh, a big old ham.
Oh, thank you, sir. When it comes to big old hams, you and I know there's really only one place to go.
Big old honey baked ham.
You got that right. Honey baked ham, whether it's July 4th, whether it's Labor Day, whether it's Thursday. I'll take a ham from Honey Baked Ham.
Honey, please get me a honey baked ham.
Southfield Shopping Center in Shreveport. I had a feeling that when I decided to move our teeth over to Cormier Family Dentistry that we were in good hands. Doctors Adam and Jana Cormier certainly are top-notch dentists, but I didn't realize that they had all the equipment to make dentistry so robotic, so futuristic. I feel like I'm the Terminator of teeth now. But here's the deal. Their staff, so friendly, so kind, so warm, and so stinking funny. I enjoyed my dental visit. Who does that? Well, you do when you go to Cormier Family Dentistry. 868-4072, 868-4072.
Attention CDL truck drivers, my name is Clint. I'm with Bayou Bell and White's Environmental. We are looking for CDL truck drivers to add to our organization that's been going since 1981. They have great benefits. Get more information on our website. Drivers, we need you. Come on.
The CL on the DL, Cantina Laredo, and the shops at Bell Mead on Uri Drive has become the oasis in a Shreveport summer. Holy moly, just sitting on the patio and letting life kind of drift through at Cantina Laredo. The food is outrageously good. The drinks are incredible. It's Cantina Laredo. That's all they deal in.
Where Shreveport and Bossier come for LSU Sports, 1130 The Tiger.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. 1130 The Tiger. Oh, studio. Rogers Hampton, Adam Hester, and myself, Tim Fletcher. We're happy to be with you. Want to remind you guys, Mudbugs Hockey is going to be at Red River Brewing tonight. That's right, kids. Mudbugs Hockey, it's the Coach's Corner tonight, 7 o'clock, Red River Brewing, 1200 Marshall Street. Soupy, a couple of the players will be there. For one lucky fan, there will be a very special piece of Mudbugs memorabilia given away. So come on out to the Mudbugs Coach's Corner tonight, 7 o'clock, Red River Brewing. Enjoy incredible food from the Smokehouse Restaurant. Enjoy a frosty cold beer from, of course, Red River Brewing. And talk a little hockey with Soupy and a couple of the boys going to be there tonight. The Coach's Corner, Mudbugs Hockey. Yes! So Michael Divinity is leaving the team for personal reasons.
Yes.
And Coach O says that they're leaving the door open for him to possibly return to the team. I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Hester, you're in education, right?
Okay.
So if you leave school for personal reasons or leave the team for personal reasons, how are you able to come back?
I always wonder this. I don't know.
Because I assume he's leaving school.
Right.
Because if he's leaving the team for personal reasons, then it can't be too personal if you're still going to go to class and stuff. Unless it's what some of the other folks have floated out there about rumors.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all these rumors.
What are the rumors?
I don't want to repeat them because they're just rumors.
So they're already out in the public, but you don't want to repeat them?
Yeah. That's not what we do on this show. We deal in hard, cold facts. Arkansas will win the national championship in 2021. We give nothing but facts. Evidence. Just the facts.
Being a student athlete, the athlete part takes up a whole lot of time. So I guess it's conceivable he could still be in school and still be dealing with whatever this issue is.
By coming back, I wonder, does it mean like coming back after the semester is in the books?
I mean, I'm trying to think.
Just the fact.
I'm trying to think. He's probably past the point where he could drop his classes without penalty.
I would assume so. Yeah, yeah, they're getting ready to start taking finals.
Their
in 3
semester.
weeks.
Yeah, so that's right.
Midterms were 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah. So unless, because if he takes the penalty, then his eligibility is affected by that.
Right. He's a senior. Maybe he's already graduated.
Possibly. I don't know.
This is it's tough news. This is surprising. He leads the team in sacks. What is it, with 3 sacks?
Yeah.
LSU is not
spread around
exactly
this year.
Not exactly bringing the heat from one area in particular. He will be missed, but this is possibly more PT from Micah Barksdale.
Yeah.
Former Evangel Eagle. You know?
Baskerville.
Did I say, what did I say, Barksdale? Yeah, Micah Baskerville.
I was trying to.
Yeah, Micah Baskerville. We were talking to Rashad about it yesterday. He even came up with, the Hounds of Baskerville.
Mm-hmm.
Micah Baskerville, who has been a special teams demon for LSU this year. And he played quite a bit last year, when there were some injuries that were out there. So Micah got on the field quite a bit. So he's going to be one of the guys more than likely counted on to fill in a little bit of the gap there. Is this a big blow to LSU losing Divinity ahead of this game or not?
You're only losing 3 sacks. But
a sure tackler.
Right. Senior and all that.
Senior.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
It is just
probably play with a little chip on his shoulder because he's lost 3 straight times to Alabama.
Missing another linebacker against Bama.
Yeah. Seems like every year, isn't it, Rogers?
Seamhead says he stated that he will graduate in December.
Okay.
But another person said, I think he graduated in December. So either way, the December's either the last one or this one. It's going to happen. So there you go. So he's still in school. He's not out. If he is graduating in December,
right, he's still in school.
Right.
So that does obviously open the door that if he takes care of a couple of things that he feels like he needs to, or Orgeron feels like he needs to, then maybe he could return.
Worries me because this is such an odd LSU team where they don't have a great pass rush. So you can't really afford to lose anybody, even though it's only 3 sacks, like you say. They're just not deep in that particular area.
We talk, obviously the LSU offense is getting all the attention. But real quickly here, did you realize that LSU is still they're 4th in the SEC in total defense?
Oh, yeah. They're aren't they still top 20 nationally?
Yeah.
For all our defense sucks talk?
Right.
Yeah. I would love to be awful and be in the top 20 nationally. That'd be great.
One of only 2 teams in the SEC to hold opponents to under 100 yards rushing per game.
The team I follow has one of the worst defenses in the country.
I no longer follow a college football team. So I don't know what you're talking about. I follow Louisiana Tech. We're doing fantastic.
We're.
My Bulldogs are doing A-OK. In the last 4 games, LSU has allowed 23 points in the second half total.
Yeah.
10 to Auburn, 7 to Florida, 6 to Mississippi State, and none to Utah State. So they have, for a defense that doesn't exactly, Stingley gets a lot of attention, obviously, and Fulton gets a lot of attention, Delpit gets a lot of attention, and rightfully so. They just seem to be getting the job done. It seems to me that maybe this is an absence. If you're going to lose a guy for this game, rather lose a linebacker than Stingley, for instance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So this is not the worst thing that's happened to LSU. At the same time, Alabama's going to be without their starting tight end,
right?
Who has been kind of a good little source for them.
And they've had some injuries on defense kind of throughout the
obviously
season.
Some injuries on defense. A lot of freshmen playing on Alabama's defense. So this is kind of even Steven.
Kind of evens out, yeah.
Yeah. And if there's one guy in particular on Alabama who's injured who is going to not play quite up to speed, number 13, might be the biggest injury situation, obviously, of all of them. So we'll get more into that a little bit later on as the show wears on. 7:28 the time. Rogers and I and Adam right here on 1130 The Tiger, brought to you by Walker Spring and Brake. Walker Spring and Brake, 222-0671. You can't stop, won't stop. Get those brakes fixed over at Walker Spring and Brake. Give Landon Grambling a call, 222-0671, 222-0671, 1041 Jordan Street. They've been doing it since 1928. Randy Bradford's crew, Walker Spring and Brake. Back with Skip Holtz right after this. I literally was walking around one of those big box stores, that sells sporting equipment the other day, and family was looking for helmets.
Yeah.
And little kid who still had Clearasil on his face said, "Over there's the helmets."
They don't know.
They don't know.
What do they know?
They know nothing.
We'll go somewhere where they do know something.
Oh, Sports World.
There.
8809 Joella. Been around since 1973. Hester, they got helmets that can fit our heads.
They do, and they know the needs of the local coaches.
They certainly
These other
do.
places don't.
No, they don't know the local coaches. Sports World, 8809 Joella. When you think of ice cold beer, Puff, what do you think of?
Red River Brewing.
When you think of so many abundant flavors that are just incredible, bursting on your tongue, what do you think of?
Red River Brewing.
1200 Marshall Street. We're downtown. Meet I-20. Did you hear that interview we had the other day with the Northwestern State softball player?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, she was great.
And here's the deal. Her dad played baseball at Northwestern State.
Yeah, I remember.
Her grandfather played football at Northwestern State. Yeah. So it's been a family tradition to go to NSU.
Yeah, long lineage. My mother was a Demon.
I know that.
And now my nephew is a Demon. It's just something like families do.
Northwestern State University. It's your family's university in Natchitoches.
Don't put your life on the line when you dig. Do what the pros do. Respect the marks. Dig with care. And before you dig, call 811. Louisiana One Call.
Adam, Hester, we talk about the Swoop biscuits all the time. They've got other breakfast sandwiches and stuff there. Croissants. Yeah, the croissant. You got that the other day.
I did. It's a nice alternative to the biscuit.
The biscuit, that's me. I like the big, thick, flaky biscuit. It's incredible. What is it about the croissant that just screams at you, this is for you, Adam?
Some of the same reasons, but a French twist on it.
Ooh, the French twist. Vive la swoop on the Bacchus of I-49. Brighten your day at swoop.
Where Shreveport and Bossier come for LSU Sports. 1130, The Tiger.
Well, welcome back, everybody. 1130 The Tiger, Tim Fletcher Show. Shaping Toyota, shaping up to be a beautiful day at Shaping Toyota. Highway 59 north in Marshall, Texas, just off I-20. They will bring the brand new Toyota RAV4s, Corollas, Camrys, you name a Toyota, they will bring it over here for you to test drive. It's Shaping Toyota. You know what they say, Rogers, about cars and trucks? They're like eggs. They're cheaper in the country. Shaping Toyota, open 24/7 at shapingtoyota.com. It's shaping up to be a beautiful day at Shaping Toyota. Joining us now on the Mudbugs Hockey Hotline, your head coach of the red hot and rested Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, a gentleman known in most circles as Skip Holtz. We call him Skip Holtz. Hello there, Skip. How you doing, sir?
Good morning, Tim. I'm doing excellent. How's everything going for you this morning?
I'm doing all right. Typically when people have a bye week at their work, they're off camping, seeing the sights, going to Disneyland. I take it your bye week was not a complete week off of football, was it?
No, I wouldn't. Certainly was not. We still have an awful lot to get done, and with the energy and excitement, winning a couple games, it just kind of puts that much more motivation into you to get done what we got to get done. So had a great week, had a productive week, but there was certainly a lot of football involved with it.
How specific? When did you start getting specific about the game plan for North Texas? Did that extra week allow you to do a little bit more than you typically would to prepare for one team in particular?
Yeah, I mean, we had an opportunity as a staff to get a couple things done. One, we got an opportunity to get some recruiting in, which was nice to get out and to see a number of high schools play and get an opportunity to get some great evaluations and FaceTime in front of some of these players. But then the second thing was we spent a couple days on North Texas and a couple days on Marshall, our next two opponents. We didn't go a whole lot farther than that because we'll have an early day. We'll have an extra day in preparation for the UAB game, and teams can change in 3 weeks predicated upon personnel. So we spent a couple days on North Texas, a couple days on Marshall, and then we have really climbed back into the game planning of North Texas when we came back in on Sunday morning to get started this week.
You've got a daunting schedule ahead of you here, Skip, and now it seems like North Texas is coming in, clicking on all cylinders. Mason Fine, the Conference USA Offensive Player of the Week, 7 touchdowns last week. He's been banged up a little bit earlier this year, wasn't he, Skip?
No, he was. He was banged up, and then early in the season, I believe it was the second game of the year, they lost their all-conference wide receiver for a season-ending injury. And they spent a little bit of time trying to get their feet back on the ground, trying to get comfortable with the receivers and the quarterbacks. And I think they're really playing well right now. Mason Fine is a tremendous talent. He's a great player. He's been the conference player of the year. He's a preseason all-conference player. I mean, he is an incredible competitor. And I think the best way I can put it, to put it in relationship to the fans around here, is as much as we enjoyed watching Trent Taylor, it's what watching Mason Fine is like. Great competitor, tough, loves the game, flies all over the place, leadership ability. I think an awful lot of them, and that's why anytime we get the opportunity to play them, I think I get excited. I get excited because you're having the opportunity to play one of the best in the league.
What does he do best, Skip, that is a concern? Is he a great pre-snap, read the defense kind of a guy? Is he quick with his decision-making? Is he quick as far as getting the ball out? Is he mobile? Help us kind of understand what makes him so special.
Yes, all of the above. I mean, which is one of the things that makes him so difficult to prepare for and why he's throwing for well over 300 yards a game with what he's doing. He's not very tall in stature when you look at his height. By a lot of people's standards, he's a short quarterback, but yet he stands in there. He's very, very intelligent. He knows the game. He's played for a long time. You can't give him anything he hasn't seen. He gets rid of the ball very quickly, both mentally and physically, meaning he's got a very quick release and that he can spit it out in a hurry. And he's hard to get to because of his intelligence level, and he knows where to go with the ball, and he doesn't put it in danger. And his quick release, once it goes from the time it gets into his head to the time that ball leaves his finger, is a matter of splitting seconds. He is very, and probably I think one of the best things that he does is he's so accurate with the football. He can throw the ball all over that 53 and a third yard stretch, 100 yards deep, 53 and a third yards wide, and he can throw the ball as accurate as any quarterback as I've seen in a long time. I mean, he will make a throw off his back foot with pressure 30 yards downfield over an outside shoulder. He doesn't give you a lot of margin for error because he does throw the ball so accurately, and that's why his interceptions are so low, and his completion percentage was what it is. And I think he's one of the higher completion percentages in the country, and I think he's at about 69-70%.
Who is going to have a nice day defensively? What position group? If they do their job, then Mason Fine is going to have a much tougher time doing his job.
If most people's first reaction would be the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, boy, if we can cover him, he won't be able to throw it. But I would say it's the defensive line. I would say it's the defensive front. I mean, they're a two-headed monster. They're a football team with a lot of balance. They're throwing the ball for about 300 yards a game, but they're rushing for about 160 yards a game. And as soon as you try and drop everybody out into coverage, they can hurt you with the run, and vice versa. As soon as you load the box to stop their counter game, then you've got Mason to deal with the ball under his arm and receivers running all over the field. So I would tell you it's going to be the D-line. I would tell you the D-line's going to have to do a great job. We're going to have to do a great job not only of being able to stop the run without outnumbering them in the box and some guys making some plays up front and defeating some blocks, but we're going to need to be able to get some pressure on their quarterback, on Mason Fine, without having to load up and just run a lot of blitzes because, like I said earlier, I don't think you can bring one he hasn't seen, and he handles them very well and gets rid of the ball. And they're a well-coached team, and they do a really nice job with what they have. Seth Luttrell's a really good football coach, and I think they've put together a really good package that he understands very well, and he's playing it really well.
All right, so what about the other side of the ball, Skip? Skip Holtz, Louisiana Tech head coach, Tech Tuesday here on the Tim Fletcher Show. What do the Mean Green bring to the table defensively?
I think they have a very physical nature. When you look at them statistically wise, it's not where it is offensively. Where offensively they're one or two offensively in most categories, scoring, total yards, passing yards, with what they're doing. But I think defensively they're very physical, and I think they're very hard to move the ball against. It's one of those where you watch the run game, and it's no gain, no gain, no gain. No, if you can get it past their front seven, then you have a chance to have some bigger plays. But their safeties are very aggressive. They're downhill, physical players. They're almost like linebackers, which puts a little bit more pressure on their secondary. But like I said, they have made the commitment to stop the run. They put everybody down, and I think they're really good with it. But where they have gotten hurt is where they have gotten hurt with the big play. But they're not many people are just lining up and controlling the ball because it's almost like they want that philosophy of defensively, our job is to get the ball back. Either give up the big play or let's get a stop. And it's been a winning formula for them for a couple of years.
Skip, heading into this home stretch, you talked about it the last time we visited, the way that the buys have kind of fallen for this schedule has been very conducive to resetting, charging ahead, reset, charge ahead, reset, and get ready for the final push here. As you head into this home stretch, one of the things that kind of stands out to me, when you look at the league leaders in Conference USA, especially running the football, Justin Henderson is right there among them, but he also hasn't exactly worn the tread off the tires. He has gotten more bang for the buck for you guys than any other running back in the league with 7 yards per tote. He's one of the few guys, I think, in the top 15 rushers in the league that's had under 100 carries. He's got a week off now. How fresh is the running game, and in particular Justin Henderson, heading into this home stretch?
Well, I think Justin's done a great job for us. I mean, this is a position that Israel Tucker and Jaquise Dancy were the 1 and 2 coming into the season, and then when Izzy got injured and then was diagnosed with mono, and then with Jaquise, some of his medical problems as we've gone through this year, Justin Henderson is a guy that has just waited for his opportunity, and he's certainly making the most of it. I think he's fresh right now. He's not beat up as we're 8 games into it. Mm-hmm. He hasn't had to carry the mail in a balanced offensive set where we have had a number of running backs step up, and we've had a passing game that has been somewhat productive for us, which I think helps our running game. So I think after coming off the open date, we had the opportunity to get some guys healthy, guys like Cody Russey, Drew Kirkpatrick, Willie Allen, Dwight Stallworth, Ethan Reed, Joshua Moat. Those guys have been playing a lot of football for us up front. And so I think it was important to get them fresh and get their bodies back as we go into this, what we are calling the Final Four, this final push, getting into our final 4 games. But I think Justin Henderson is as ready as he's ever been. He's, that position gets beat up a little bit. I don't know. There's something about when you put the ball under your arm, everybody wants to tackle you. And so that position gets beat up. But I think Justin is as healthy right now and as fresh right now coming off this open date. And it's like I said, it certainly was something we're going to need going into this football game.
teams in position that Louisiana Tech is in, literally everything that you could possibly want to ever play for is still right there ahead of you. Division championship, conference championship, possibly, part of the New Year's Six is still a distinct possibility with the way things are kind of shaking up around the country here. So my question, Skip, as a guy who has certainly seen and been a part of just about every possible scenario in college football, how do you kind of use those? We used to do this with Conkle and Michael White talking about basketball, dangling the carrot of the NCAA tournament. When do you start kind of putting that out there in front of the players? What kind of carrot are you dangling in front of these guys in this Final Four push? I mean, or do you believe in that kind of thing to kind of have them chase after something?
No, I think you're better to focus on the process. I think you're better to focus on the process. Sometimes when I was a young coach, we were trying to get into the 1AA playoffs. Young coach at Connecticut. Mm-hmm. And sometimes what you do is you become so goal-oriented that you end up putting a lot of undue stress on yourself. And we would find ways to lose to stop us from achieving those goals because we get so uptight about it. You start believing in the process. You start believing in what it took you to get here. You sit down, you talk about lofty goals. You set them for yourself at the very beginning. We talked about them in the first open date. We talked about it a little bit with the conference standings this week of our second open date. But we got to this point by focusing on the task at hand. You always talk about the three periods of time: the past, the future, and the present. And we certainly can't. The past isn't going to help us get done what we want to get done. Mm-hmm. Sitting around dreaming about the future is not going to help us get done what we want to get done. The only way to affect the future, which in turn is going to change the past, is going to be taking care of your present. And that's where we are as a football team right now. We got to have a great day of practice today. We got to be focused. We got to go out. Today is a run day, a first down day. We got to be focused. We got to go out with great energy at practice. But I think it's the preparation to make that work. So I'm not a big one to go, well, look at what's out there. They all know it's the elephant in the room. We don't need to talk about it. It's being talked about enough outside of this football facility that when we get into this facility, it's all about staying in the present and what we got to do to win the next game.
Skip Holtz and the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs kicking off at 3 o'clock Saturday against North Texas. This has been a nice little rivalry between the Bulldogs and the Mean Green. Should be a heck of a football game as Louisiana Tech tries to keep the hot side hot. They have won, I believe, 7 straight games, trying to make it 8 with a win over North Texas on Saturday. Skip, best of luck to you, yours, and your crew on Saturday, and always enjoy and are enlightened by our visits with a man that most people call Skip Holtz.
Enjoy you, Tim. Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir.
Appreciate your professionalism.
You betcha.
Have a good day.
You too. 7:45. Look at that, my professionalism. How you like them apples? Wait a minute. You think he was kidding?
This is a very odd ending there. Did you do something different?
Yeah. I think he just respects the consummate pro that I am on a weekly basis.
A week away from you, appreciate you a little more.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe so. Maybe so. A week away made the heart grow fonder a little bit.
By the way, one of the ESPN Bowl projection people has Louisiana Tech versus North Carolina. I will take that right now.
In what bowl?
Here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll buy those tickets for $1 or
Mac
more,
Brown
or 30.
versus a team from an hour away. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. I think that would be fantastic. What has to happen for Tech? And I'm not trying to be we're going to be in the New Year's Six. What would have to happen? Obviously, Memphis needs to lose.
The AAC would need
Cincinnati
to
needs to
cannibalizing
lose.
Each
Cincinnati
other.
and Memphis need to lose, and Boise needs to lose, right? App State's done.
Yeah. That team, that's always going to be an AAC team unless it's
Boise.
Tear each other apart. Or it's Boise's kind of the exception.
Or a military academy.
Which Navy's is ranked now, 7-1, but Army is not having a good year.
No.
Air Force already has a couple of losses, and they're Mountain West. Navy's 7-1, 25th in the coaches poll. San Diego State's in there at 7-1.
Yeah.
SMU 8-1 now. Boise 7-1. Memphis 8-1. Cincinnati 7-1. Cincinnati right now is the highest ranked at 17. So
it's again my old David Tom's philosophy. Tech can get there, but they're only one. Yeah, they're even with everybody, but they need everyone else to take a little bit of a tumble.
They're going to need to beat obviously everybody that's left on their schedule. And
right,
start
they got to be 11-1.
These other teams got to start knocking each other off.
Win the conference championship, and the AAC. There's going to be somebody else get dealt a loss. We know that,
right?
You know, and hopefully the team that makes it to the championship in the AAC and wins it will already have a second loss. That's one way that can help. Mountain West, San Diego State always chokes at some point in the season. They've given some running back 412 carries, and he's going to end up just quitting in the middle of a run. I'm tired of running the football all day long. So stranger things have happened, but the main goals, the things that Tech can achieve and control, and it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
North Texas and Marshall are two of the 5 best teams in the league. I'm sorry. Well, heck, North Texas, Marshall, and UAB are 3 of the 5 best teams in this league, not named Louisiana Tech. And Marshall and UAB are on the road. So if Tech is going to hit their goals, they are going to have certainly earned them.
Yeah. Boy, the Cotton Bowl people had to be a little upset with SMU losing.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was kind of what they were banking on there.
Would not have been a bad deal.
Because isn't it? How does that work now? About where the group of 5, whatever team goes?
Dude, that sounds like a question for iBowl Weekly.
I really don't know anymore. Because used to it was kind of a rotational kind of a thing, and I
look at the bowl projections, and then I realize that about 20% of them are impossible to actually occur.
Yes.
And so that makes me think, well, wait a minute. These are guys who live and breathe and work specifically and only in college football journalism.
Right.
And they don't even understand.
And they don't know what some of the tie-ins
how
are.
in the hell am I trying to do this? When I've got 9 things juggling in the air. So
right now,
I just work on being professional with Skip Holtz. And talk to the high school coaches and move on to Stephen Jeter.
Trying to find where where ESPN has that team going. And
which team?
Like the team that emerges out of the group of 5. 6 or 5? Group of 5? Group of 6?
It's a group of 5.
Okay.
The Power 5 and the New Year 6.
Okay.
I think they're all opening for Share next year in the CenturyLink Center. Give it up for the Power 5.
Yeah.
The New Year 6.
Yeah.
And the Group of 5.
Jesus.
When we come back, Stephen Jeter, the head coach for the Loyola College Preparatory Flyers, will join us here on the program. Our show is presented to you by, yes?
Cotton Bowl must be that destination no matter what, because ESPN's got Cincinnati versus Oregon and Memphis versus Baylor as their 2 predictions.
Well, that wouldn't be bad. Memphis-Baylor would probably be pretty acceptable to the Cotton Bowl folks.
I'm sure TV would love that. But yeah.
TV. It's overrated. Our show presented to you by the wonderful folks over at Rotolo's Craft and Crust. Just trying to make you be aware of what's happening tomorrow. We're a day away from Calzone Wednesday. Tomorrow, all day long, Calzone Wednesday. And Bingo Night.
Yes.
BINGO. And Bingo was the pizza O. Rotolo's Craft and Crust, exciting new menu items. Plus Calzone Wednesday, plus Bingo Night. That's all tomorrow. Rotolo's Craft and Crust. Rogers and Adam are back with Stephen Jeter right after these words on 11:30 The Tiger.
11:30 The Tiger, your home for LSU sports, powered by Jack Spring Electric.
Come on, Demon fans. It's time for a little football every single Friday on our show at 8:30 It's Forkum Fridays. Join us, NSU fans, as we celebrate and get ready for the weekend. Every single football Friday, it's Forkum Friday. If you and your family are looking for a new place to go take your teeth, I suggest Cormier Family Dentistry. I'm telling you right now, you'll be smiling when you go in, you'll be smiling when you leave. Of course, that smile is going to look a lot better after they've taken care of you. Doctors Adam and Jana Cormier are absolutely astounding and outstanding dentists, but their staff also just makes it so easy, so nice, and literally so fun. That's right, I said fun. When you go to the dentist, you will have a good time. You'll get great work. Cormier Family Dentistry, 868-4072.
Hey, it's Robert J. Wright once again for Corby's and Huntington Golf Courses. Well, this time a little more specific, the Grill at Corby's Golf Course. Yes, the Grill at Corby's. Open mornings at 8 for breakfast. In fact, great breakfast served from 8 till 11. Awesome daily lunch specials, plus a great menu from 11 till 2. And the always generous in their servings bar, open till 6. Pretty nice joint. The Grill at Corby's Golf Course. Guaranteed I'll see you there.
ShapenToyota.com. It's open 24/7. Ken Shapen Toyota, Highway 59 in Marshall, Texas, just off I-20. They will bring the cars to you for a test drive. That's what I said. They will bring them from Marshall to Shreveport, Bossier for you to check out. Shapen Toyota.
Journey. Pretenders. Back on the chain gang. Two incredible bands. One amazing night in Bossier City. Journey. Pretenders. CenturyLink Center, Saturday, August 29th. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at livenation.com. VIP packages and more. Visit journeymusic.com.
11:30 The Tiger, Shreveport's home for sports.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. 11:30 The Tiger. Yes, indeed. Tim Fletcher Show with Rogers Hampton and Adam Hester. We're glad you're hanging around with us on this fantastic Tuesday. By the way, Cormier Family Dentistry, 868-4072. Is he saying tooth?
Yes.
Tooth. If your tooth hurts, call Cormier. If it's a cavity or plaque buildup, call them now. Cormier Family Dentistry, 868-4072. 868-4072. Cormier Family Dentistry, Kings Highway, right across from Albertsons, next to Drug Emporium. Now, let's see if Jeter cites my professionalism. Good morning, Stephen Jeter. How in the world are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
We are A-okay.
I was just sitting here wondering, do you ever receive emails that says, "Hey, Tim, will you just read the advertisement that we sent in? Don't go off schedule here. Just, hey, it's Cormier. Come see us, whatever." But I love it. Personally, I love it. I just wondered if you ever receive those calls or emails.
If I do, they somehow or another end up in my spam folder, unread. or they're calling, and I see the voicemail, and I just have Allie listen to it. And if it's bad news, she just gives me the thumbs down, and I just try not to ever listen to the bad news whatsoever. That's not my scene, man. I'm a positive man. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that happens. So Jeter, I tell you what, man, it was a Friday night. It was a big game for the Manny Tigers. They needed that desperately to get to what they kind of have going on there. Obviously, it was a big game for the Loyola Flyers as well. Tight game early on, but something happened just before half that kind of tilted things towards Manny's way, and they never really. I know you guys close it to within a touchdown later on. Help us out here a little bit if we kind of missed part of the action there.
Once again, Manny's a great football team. What a great atmosphere, a great high school football game. Just for the people listening, Manny High School does it right. You pull up and they've got the town, out there tailgating, cooking out. It's homecoming. People are there early. We get there like 4:30, and the parking lot's already full. It's a great playoff type atmosphere. And to win those type of games, we knew that we couldn't give Manny an extra possession. Just watching them on film, they love to go on 11 to 12 play drives, keep the football, and they probably played their best game offensively. They did not turn it over. I thought our defense played extremely well, got us several stops. But early on, we go down and score. They match it, and then we turn the ball over on our first possession of the second drive, and they go down and score. Later on, late in the first half, we have a touchdown called back for holding, which is the worst penalty in football. So if you could help me author some kind of proposal to get the 10-yard spot of the foul holding, because I just think it kills offenses. But anyway.
Yes, I agree.
So we stall a drive that we should have scored on, and our punter comes out, does a great job of flipping the field, but then we have a legal formation, and and then our next punt is kind of shanked, and so we ended up giving them 3 short fields in the first half that they capitalized on, and we didn't on 2 possessions, and that was really the tale of us not winning the football game. But our kids never quit. Still going down, scoring a touchdown with 3 minutes left to go within 7. Try to go for an onside kick, didn't get it. And then they were able to march down and just kind of put the dagger in. And but kids played well. It's a great game for us to learn from, and hopefully it'll pay off this week and pay off sometime in the playoffs.
Well, and it's interesting. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Jeter, but if you guys win, you'll be the outright district champion. If you lose, and if Mansfield beats you guys and Green Oaks wins this week, they will share the district title with you, right?
I guess I was trying to figure that out because we beat Green Oaks head to head, and we'd both be 3-1. But I don't know. I don't know the bylaws and everything. But yeah, I guess that's how I figure it. I guess if we win, we should be outright.
Right.
If we lose, I guess there is a chance of a share. I don't know how that is since we won the head-to-head with Green Oaks, but we need to win for a district title, but we need to win for playoff seeding. So this is a big game for us.
Right now, you're somewhere between 3 and 5, right?
Correct. I believe we are 4, and and that can win or lose. We could still end between 3 and 5. Lose, I think we could drop down to 6. Win, I think we'll stay between 3 and 5 somewhere, depending on our opponent's wins.
All right. So for the Division II non-select, how does that bracket shake out? Do they have buys in the Division II bracket typically or not? Or
I think one. I think number one has a bye.
Okay.
Ben Franklin doesn't play in the playoffs.
Okay, that's it. So
and then sometimes we have a few others that decide not to participate, so you may end up getting another one, but I believe one just has a bye.
All right, so where do you want to end up in this? Obviously, you want to be as high as you can possibly be. St. Thomas More, De La Salle, U-High seems to be kind of a top 3 lock. So it's you, E.D. White, Turlings, Archbishop Hannon, and Evangel, all kind of moving parts for 4, 5, 6, and 7, I guess, huh?
I believe so. And, there's going to be so many moving parts in there for me to say, hey, I want to be the 3 seed. I think that part of the bracket gives us a chance at a good run. A couple of weeks ago, I thought the 3 would give us a chance there, but people keep moving each week. And so I really don't know. I just know that I want to be as high as possible. I want to keep our home game, and I'd like to get back on our winning ways this Friday.
All right, so taking on a Mansfield team physically, as big a team as you'll probably face this year, or one of the bigger teams. What's one of the things that you are most concerned about with this road trip down to see the Mike Green machine?
They are big. They're athletic. and they seem to be really starting to figure it out and click late in the season. They do a lot of things offensively. Mike Green always has a great defensive team. They're going to be physical, and so it just goes back to last Friday night. We can't give away extra possessions. We can't have, penalties on a punt play. We can't have holding calls on a touchdown. We can't, it's got to be little things like that that we have to just take care of, or we could end up losing this football game because they're excited. They're coming off a big win with Northwestern, and they're going to, I'm sure it's going to be senior night, so they got a lot to play for, and they're going to be excited. So, and they're a very good football team, and I know their record doesn't always show that, but they are a very good football team, and we got to come up ready to play.
Health-wise, how are you guys heading into Week 10 here?
About as healthy as you can be in Week 10. No serious injuries, but, a lot of bumps and bruises. Manny was a physical football game, and, so we took it light with contact yesterday, but our kids, came back ready to work and ready to get focused for this week.
Stephen Jeter and the Loyola Flyers, it's been just a wonderful season so far. What's the thing that you are most proud of for what your kids have already accomplished with one game to go in the regular season?
Just their chemistry, just the way they play for each other, the way they show up to work every day, the way they work hard, but they like to have a lot of fun too. And so they really enjoy playing this game together, and it makes it fun as a coach to show up and work every day.
Stephen Jeter, Loyola Flyers at Mansfield on Friday. If you need me to, do you need me to sing like the Loyola fight song to maybe fire the fellas up? Maybe get that on video for you, play it on like a big screen or something to kind of get them jazzed up and ready to run through a brick wall?
No.
I would love that.
No.
See, Hester?
No.
Hester, you're saying no?
No. No. No.
That shocks me that Hester would say no.
I am shocked at that. Usually he is a big fan of just about anything I do, Steven. So.
What is Coach doing? Who is this guy?
Yeah, no lie. Why is that fat man singing loudly on camera? That makes no sense. First he's leading the parade with the mayor. Now he's singing to us. Who is this guy? Stephen Jeter, head coach for the Loyola Flyers. That's going to be a fun one, man. A lot on the line for Loyola, and no one. If you want to win a district title, you certainly don't want to have to share it with anybody. A chance to go undefeated in the District of Doom, which I thought was going to be impossible, really, with the way this thing as evenly matched as I thought all these teams were in 1-3A. To come out of that with the possibility of a team unscathed is pretty doggone impressive, because there are some really good football teams in District 1-3A. And you guys have that chance. You're the only ones who have a shot at making this thing happen. So, Jeter, best of luck to you and your crew on Friday down in Mansfield, buddy.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
You betcha. Stephen Jeter. By the way, today is November 5th, Rogers. Did you know that it's Cinco de Drinko as well as $2 Taco Tuesday? That's mind blown. Jimmy V's Fajita Factory, their big deal, all coming together in one day. It's Cinco de Drinko as well as $2 Taco Tuesday, all on the same day. So it's Jimmy V's today. $2 tacos all day long. $2 Tecate all day long. $2 tequila all day long. But because it's Cinco de Drinko, it's also 2-for-1 margaritas all day. 5-cent margaritas at 5 p.m. for 5 minutes. So at 5 o'clock this evening, if you can make it at Jimmy V's Fajita Factory, you can get a house margarita for a nickel. $5 Patron shots, $3 Fireball shots, $2 tacos, $2 Tecate, $2 tequila. 2-for-1 margaritas. It's mind-blowing experience. Jimmy V's Fajita Factory, Cinco de Drinko, and $2 Taco Tuesday, all in one day. Rogers Hampton, Adam Hester, and I will be back with Dennis Dunn, your head coach of the North DeSoto Fighting Griffins, when we return. Let Swoop Stores brighten your day. 109 East Burt Coons in Shreveport, 3818 Industrial Drive in Bossier City. We are on the phone with the wonderful Nicole, First Choice Personnel. Make First Choice your last call. You know, to keep things together, you've got to weld them together. You need good, strong welders out there to keep the welding joints going. Nicole, you need welders, don't you?
Absolutely. We're looking for MIG, stick, TIG, and flux welders. Any type of experience, we're looking for you to see what we can do for you.
What she said, that's what I'm saying. I can't say that on the radio because I think I'll screw it up. Go for it. Get your welding job right now. First Choice Personnel, 797-7810. When it comes to customer service, there really is nobody that can top what GBT brings to the table, or whatever it is you call the little slot there where you go talk to the teller. Is that a table? Is that a desk? Is that a cubby hole? Whatever it is, they bring it to that little spot. GBT, the great banking team, Mansfield Road, Williamson Way, 3400 Line Avenue in East Texas, next to the Bellagio in Bossier City. Typically, Rogers Hampton helps me out with these honey-baked ham spots, but he's literally stuffing his face right now with a ham sandwich. Rogers, it's early in the morning. Too early for what he's writing something. It's never too early for honey-baked ham, you idiot. What's the idiot thing? Honey-baked ham. Southfield Shopping Center, Southfield and Uri.
Honey, please get me a honey-baked ham.
A fresh batch of mud bugs is being served up right now at George's Pond at Hirsch Coliseum. The 4th season for Mud Bugs hockey in the North American Hockey League is here. The bugs are on the ice, the winds are going to be rising, and you're going to be watching a team that is destined for postseason play yet again. They've been in the playoffs all 3 years they've been in existence. They won the title 2 seasons ago. What's in store this year? Action-packed hockey. MudbugsHockey.com. Who wants tacos? Everybody wants tacos from Taco Bell. And your high school in the area could be the lucky school that gets a taco day in December. Very simple. Go crazy in the student section. Have a blast, but make sure you get video posted on Instagram of your student section having a great time at high school football games. #LiveMossFletch. Hashtag that video on Instagram, LiveMossFletch. We'll pick a winner each week, and those winners go into the season-end drawing for Taco Day from Taco Bell. Let Swoop Stores brighten your day. 109 East Burt Coons in Shreveport, 3818 Industrial Drive in Bossier City.
KWKH, Shreveport, Bossier City. 1130 The Tiger, Shreveport and Bossier's #1 sports station.
Welcome back, 1130 The Tiger, Tim Fletcher Show, brought to you by Bayou Bell, the nice guys who love talking trash. If you're unhappy with your dumpster service, well, buddy, I've got a suggestion. It's pretty simple. Pick up your phone and throw it out the window. If it lands near your dumpster, leave it there for a while and see if the dumpster service that you have picks it up when they come to get your dumpster the next time. They won't. It'll still be there. Then go get you a new phone. Call Bayou Bell, 671-9900. Tell them what happened, and they'll say, oh, if there's anything outside the dumpster bin, we always make sure we pick it up. We don't leave any trash laying around out there. Are you kidding me? We know that your business needs to look spick and span on the outside in. And that starts when people pull into the parking lot and they see that dumpster. There's trash laying around there. Then it just kind of gives you a bad taste about what's in store once you go inside that business. Bayou Bell, they are as thorough as the day is short now, with the standard time that we're in now. 671-9900. Get in touch with Russell Hall. 2 phones, the Big Magnolia. C-Mac, Clint McCullough, super good dude, head honcho, top dog, big cheese. Better service, lower prices. Locally and family owned and operated. Bayou Bell, 671-9900. We are now joined on the Mudbugs Hockey Hotline for the First Choice Personnel Coaches Conversation. Dennis Dunn, head coach for your North DeSoto Fighting Griffins. Hello there, Dennis Dunn. What's going on, sir?
Good morning, Fletch. How you doing?
I'm doing okay, man. I got no problems. games. Everything's all, as they say, everything's butter side up. You know, you know how that
awesome.
goes. You've had some.
Awesome.
Do coaches get to have good days on a regular basis, or is every day kind of a, oh boy, I got this to worry about. I've got to fix this. I've got this.
Well, at this stage of my life, every day when I'm above the ground, it's a great day. So not many complaints. A lot to do, but I don't know what I would do if I wasn't busy.
Dennis,
I might go crazy if I didn't have something to do.
I understand that. I guess it's kind of hard to undersell just how big of a win that was Friday against Woodlawn. It basically has put you into the playoffs, correct?
Yeah, it put us in, and man, it was just good to get a win. We needed one badly for a lot of reasons, but proud of the kids, proud of how they came back, the seniors especially. The fact that they didn't have to hang their pads up early, that they have an opportunity to extend the season, and that's how big the win was. And, just fought for 4 quarters, and it was nip and tuck. I mean, Woodlawn we knew was a team that was improving. Again, had played a really quality Northwood team the week before, to 28-18, and we knew our hands were full, and it was an interesting week because we did not have any outside work. We had to be in the gym all week, and our quarterback had taken a shot in the Evangel game, and it was on his throwing arm, and we really did not know what he was going to be able to do. His arm had been really sore, so we find out really in pregame when he tried to throw that he was not going to be able to throw any extended passes down the field. So that changed our game plan right before the game. We were going to have to run the football, and fortunately we did with a lot of success, and it was what won the game for us. But we threw 3 passes, and 2 of them were screens, and one of them we threw a mile out of bounds because he just didn't have any accuracy. So fortunately our run game was successful and got us a win and extended the season.
Not too many teams want to have a bye in that 10th week, but heck, Dennis, this may be the best thing that could ever happen for you guys, to give Kelvin Kinney, old K2, a little bit of time to heal up, huh?
Yeah, and again, we think it's all muscular and nothing structural, but he's seeing a doctor this afternoon to make sure. But yeah, a week certainly will help. But again, the kids have stepped up. It's next man up. Do what you do. You brag on guys that've been bragging on Bo Phillips all year long. But what a great young man! Just an outstanding linebacker for us, and has been for the program for several years. But for him to step into a running back role and really take on a huge role in the rushing game for us pretty much the last half of the season. And the other night he really came up big. We had 2 guys rush for over 100 yards, but he was the leading rusher and made a huge run at the end of the game to seal the win with a first down. And so just so proud of Bo and those seniors for continuing to fight. And like I told them, toward the end of the season, we had a lot of stuff going on that created some adversity. And when you don't win, that's adversity in itself. And the great news was you go into that 9th week with the script still being written and an opportunity to flip the script and change the script for the season. And fortunately, they did that, and again, the script's still being written, and the 2019 seniors are still having the ability to leave a legacy, and it will be one of overcoming a lot of situations to put themselves in this position to be a playoff team. So I'm just so proud of them.
Dennis, it certainly didn't start out that way on Friday night. You look up pretty quickly into the game, and Woodlawn's up 23-7.
Yes.
For kids who knew going in, I'm sure that your kids were aware that if we lose, we're done. If we win, we're in. The mentality and the intestinal fortitude these kids showed and the coaching staff showed to get their minds back on track or whatever. Take us through that little quandary as you look up and you find yourself down 2 scores early on in a game that you've got to win.
Yeah, I think, Reynolds Moore has spoken to it, the last few weeks. Sometimes things snowball. Winning has a snowball effect, and man, you get momentum. But sometimes when you lose, you start finding ways to lose, and it looked as if at 23-7. Well, are these kids? Have they packed it in, or will they find something inside of them? And that's what we talked about all week. Seniors, find something inside of you that maybe you don't even know you have. The underclassmen, you're doing this for the seniors. Find something inside of you. We can teach fundamentals. We can teach X's and O's, but one thing that coaches can't do is teach a guy how to find what's inside of him, how to find his own heart and fight within him. And man, some kids really rose to the occasion and did that. I think of Chris Norris, who stepped in also as a fullback in our run game and actually scored a couple of touchdowns. He's a linebacker, so kids just changed roles and did whatever they had to do to help our team win. And again, it's a credit to these seniors for not quitting and extending their season, and so proud for them and happy to have a week off and prepare for whoever we might be playing.
Last thing I have for you, Dennis Dunn, head coach for the North DeSoto Fighting Griffins. Will you go scout another team, or because it's so iffy who you may play, that would be kind of a moot point right now as far as what your plans are for Friday night?
We might go see a game and send some coaches out to see games. But, again, so much changes after week 9 to week 10. It would almost be impossible to – I think you can narrow it down maybe to 2 or 3 teams, possibilities. But, man, it can change so much from week 9 to 10 that it's almost a moot point to do it. But we'll certainly be watching the scores and today with technology and the ability to call a coach and have the video shared via huddles quickly, as it's not as important as it used to be, getting to games. But we will probably nonetheless do that and just to give us something to do on Friday night, so we're not twiddling our thumbs.
I completely agree. You don't want to get too far out of the routine, at least, Dennis Dunn, the head coach for North DeSoto, rally from a 23-7 deficit to pick up a 33-29 win. The season-ending win, regular season-ending win for Woodlawn. They don't have a 10th week opponent. Woodlawn takes on BTW this week in the season ender for C.J. Bird and for Coach Relaford as well. North DeSoto will live to fight another day. Who they play, we'll find out. Literally, we'll find out Saturday when the power rankings come out, officially on Sunday when the brackets come out by the LHSAA. Dennis Dunn back in the postseason yet again in high school football, kind of where that man lived for a long, long time. So, Dennis, congratulations to your kids for fighting their way through and getting in there, and certainly hope that K2 gets better soon. And good luck, and we'll talk to you next week talking about your first playoff round opponent.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you. Dennis Dunn had to shuffle the schedule around a little bit today, but we're glad we're still able to accommodate Dennis and get him on here, Rogers. Hey, where'd Adam go? He was here just a second ago. He was like, he's like the black cat at the game last night. He's just quick. He's like, Hester is almost like, he's like smoke from a charcoal grill. He's there 1 second and then he'll just move one direction and the next, and then he just kind of disappears once he gets a little bit further away. That's why we call him Smoke Hester. I'm going to start calling him that and just see if he knows why in the world I would call him Smoke. And I'll say it's after his favorite Star Wars character, Smoke Skywalker. If there's one thing that Adam and I do connect on, it is our love of Star Wars and Star Trek trivia.
Everybody!
Yes.
Everybody!
And this.
Let's get it started!
Love.
Let's get it started in here! Let's get it started! Let's get it started in here! Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo!
He loves that. Loves it, I tell you. I don't care who knows it. Last night, we ordered walk-ons to be delivered. And Allie and I each got the little cup of gumbo. And I got the blackened chicken pasta Alfredo. She got the shrimp pasta Alfredo. And we were both highly satisfied customers of Walk-On's Bistro and Bar. I even texted McJunkins. I'm like, dude, this stuff is so stinking good. He goes, yeah, it's really good. I think I want to own a restaurant, Rogers. I want to own a restaurant where the food's good, like everything on the menu is good, because I want to eat like really good food every day. And one of the best ways to do that is have someone else cook it for me in like a really nice, clean commercial kitchen, and like have TVs everywhere around. I bet it would be fun. It's not stressful, is it, to own a restaurant? Isn't it always like everything works perfectly? Yeah, it's an easy gig. Huh. I have to talk to McJunkins and ask him, hey, I want to own one of these restaurants. How do I do that? Because I love the food at Walk-On's. Holy moly. Have you ever had that chicken Alfredo? Blackened chicken Alfredo? Lauren got it? Boy, it's good. Oh, wow. Yes. My gosh. Seasoned perfectly. And I am usually not a big Alfredo sauce guy, but this, it's just good. A text in from an Adam. I have a functioning radio in my car for your information. Don't know which Adam that is. I don't know. 8:24 the time. Walk-On's Bistro and Bar, Airline Drive in Bossier City, and in Shreveport on Uri, just off East 70th, south of there. When we return, Central Ohio's biggest Saints fan, thecomeback.com, also maybe the biggest Joe Burrow fan north of the border. Matt Yoder will join us. Talk a little Saints and Joe Burrow when we return on 1130 The Tiger. Let's Swoop Stores brighten your day. 109 East Burt Coons in Shreveport, 3818 Industrial Drive in Bossier City. Chillin' Hill is here to help you get over those bumps and bruises that come with that workout. We're getting a little bit closer to the autumnal months. Oh, it's going to be frigid here, down in the 60s and 70s before you know it, right? Well, that means you're going to be doing a few more activities. Maybe you're going to decide, now I'm going to run that 5K. Now I'm going to get into CrossFit. Now I am so sore I can't wake up the next day. Chillin' Hill's here to make sure that you can get up and get back to whatever it is you're doing. Chillin' Hill can make that happen. 798-4325. Nicole, they say I've got an electric personality. Does that help me out at First Choice Personnel?
It would help you. I'm looking for electrical or mechanical, technical people.
I'm not so mechanical, but I do have an electric personality.
Sounds good. You come my way. Let me see what I can do for you.
All right, 797-7810, 797-7810. First Choice Personnel, make First Choice your last call. Every single Friday on our show, we have Forkum Friday spotlighting a Northwestern State University Demon athlete or coach.
Ooh, yay! I love that segment. I especially like it when y'all talk baseball because my nephew is a Demon.
That's true.
And don't forget, family tradition, my mother is a Demon.
Ooh, I think I'll just kind of let that one sit there. Forkum Friday.
What is that
Every
supposed to mean?
single Friday on the Tim Fletcher Show.
Very funny.
Do you like people, Puff?
Not really, Tim.
See, I'm kind of with you on that. When I go somewhere, I don't necessarily want people like right against me.
I like to have my space to hang out and enjoy myself.
I like to spread out. At Red River Brewing, they've got an enormous space, 1200 Marshall Street. You get to see people. There's a lot of people there, but they're not right on me. You know what I mean?
You can enjoy your beer and manspread.
Manspreading and beer drinking. Red River Brewing. I'm sitting here with Bubba over at Chevyland, and, 4 adults that want to go travel the country, go to a game. You got something on the lot that just fits that criteria?
Fletcher, we have lots of crossovers and SUVs, but the best value would be a 2019 Chevy Trax. You can put 4 full-size grown-up adults in there and go anywhere you want to. You get cool technology like tons of airbags and a bunch of 4G LTE Wi-Fi, and it's $17,450. No ads, nothing else on top of that.
So grab 3 of your buddies and make that vacation plan right now. Come on down to Chevyland. We care about you. The Bayou Bell Waste Boys are in studio with us. Clint McCullough, Russell Hall. It's got to be so fun working with people you care so much about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have a great time every day, and I tell you, it's just so fulfilling to be able to support the local economy and hire people and be able to support families. We absolutely have a blast every day, and we certainly appreciate all your support.
Bayou Bell Waste, 671-9900, BayouBellWaste.com.
Edge Concrete Cutting. We cut floors, ceilings, walls, slabs, bridges, and more. Edge can handle your flat sawing, electrical slab sawing, core drilling, early entry sawing, concrete demo, and removal. Edge has the experience, personnel, and equipment to handle any job, ranging from large construction projects to small concrete cuts or coring jobs. Call Edge Concrete Cutting at 925-3745. That's Edge Concrete Cutting at 925-DRILL.
DB is in the house. Actually, he's on the phone. What's up, Donnie Brewer?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much, man. So how's life like not being in the day-to-day operation of Brewer Quality Homes?
It's way better.
I bet so.
I really enjoy it.
I imagine. So not working is kind of a cool thing, huh?
Yeah. Nate's handled it, and I get to travel around and shoot birds and catch fish.
That's what it's all about. Brewer Quality Homes. Shooting birds, catching fish, not working. Let Nate Dizzle do the heavy lifting. Brewer Quality Homes.
You're on 49. It is so easy to just hit that Burt Coons exit and swoop into Swoop.
If you need to top off your tank, Swoop. Locally owned and operated. Of course you want to support a Shreveport business and a Bossier business on Industrial in Bossier City. But at the Swoop in Shreveport, sweetie,
those
they've
breakfast sandwiches.
Breakfast sandwiches where the biscuits are a mile high.
Ho, 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 ho.
Sausage, egg, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits. They've
hot
got
coffee
hot
and
coffee,
the OJ.
Clean restrooms. Brighten your day at Swoop.
There it is.
Mud Bugs hockey is here. The season is underway. The 4th season in the North American Hockey League for the Shreveport Mud Bugs has arrived. They've already won a championship. They've made the postseason in their other 2 seasons as well. So you know you're going to be watching a successful squad out there on the ice at George's Pond at Hirsch Coliseum. It's great entertainment. Join us at Mud Bugs Hockey this year. MudbugsHockey.com. Let Swoop Stores brighten your day. 109 East Burt Coons in Shreveport, 3818 Industrial Drive in Bossier City.
1130 The Tiger, Bossier City's home for LSU sports.
Welcome, everybody, one and all. Tim Fletcher Show, 11:30 The Tiger. It's 8:30, and it's not the same old story. Try to change things up for you every now and then. Give you a little dose of this, a little taste of that. You know what I'm saying? Our little program is presented to you every single day by the fine human beings, every day, by the fine human beings over at Landers, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. Trey Rogers, a very happy guy today, I assume. His beloved Cowboys picked up a win. So the Dallas Cowboys are victorious. So that means Trey's probably going to be magnanimous and very giving today over at Landers, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. You know, they are not quite giving away vehicles, Rogers. I don't think that would be a good business practice. But what they are doing over there is about the next best thing, which is pricing vehicles so stinking low that it's almost impossible not to become a fan of, maybe we do need to go ahead and check on some of these vehicles. The 2019 Rams, the 2020 3-liter turbo diesel Jeep Wrangler that they have on the lot now has up to 540 miles of range on one tank of gas. A Jeep that gets 30 miles per gallon sounds like the Jeep for me. Landers, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. GoLanders.com. Employee pricing plus going on right now as well. Landers, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, 2701 Bend Road, just south of I-220, underneath the 2,100 square foot American flag. Joining us now on the Mudbugs Hockey Hotline, your favorite fellow from Columbus, Ohio. Central Ohio's biggest Saints fan from thecomeback.com. You know him, you love him. He's Matt Yoder. Hello, Matt Yoder.
Good morning, Tim. Great to be with you on this fine Tuesday. As we look ahead, we didn't have really any of our teams in action this past week, but I just hope that whoever does play quarterback for Alabama this coming Saturday has as good of a week as former Alabama quarterback and current Browns head coach Freddie Kitchens. So maybe Browns fans would probably love it if Freddie could suit up for Bama on Saturday. I think they'd prefer that probably at this point.
I'm all in for that. I am A-OK with that situation. Now, Ohio State's got they've got a typical Big Ten game this week, right? A game they're favored by 50 or whatever.
Well, they have this nice stretch where they have 3 consecutive bye weeks in the middle of the season.
No doubt.
Of course, their actual bye week, and then Maryland and Rutgers. So it's kind of a nice, relaxing stretch here before you get into the climax of the season, which would be Penn State and Michigan right at the end.
So you're all in on the Joe Burrow bandwagon on Saturday, I assume, right?
Oh, absolutely, Tim. I mean, there's nothing more. Alabama, victims of their success. I mean, it's much like Duke, Notre Dame. I think the neutral fan is just happy to see them lose. I mean, that's just how it is. But, of course, everyone up here has the Joe Burrow connection, and I think is really hoping for that Ohio State-LSU national championship game. So, yes, we are all aboard, especially since our game, Tim, is going to be a bit of a snoozer and probably over by the end of the first quarter.
If
everyone's going to be on that purple and gold bandwagon.
Now, the last time LSU and Ohio State met didn't go so hot. Our very own Jacob Hester ended up putting – who was that again? Was that James Laurinaitis, Rogers? I think he knocked him completely out of football. The guy never played another down after Jacob put him on his keister in the end zone for what turned out to be the game-winning touchdown. So I don't know if Ohio State wants any more of this LSU stuff, to be honest with you, Matt. They may be better off facing someone a little bit less talented like Alabama in the national championship.
Maybe Ohio State was better off playing a Pac-12 team in the title game.
Hey, there you go.
Get back. Yeah.
We don't talk a whole lot of college football, Matt, but just your gut feeling on who the top what order, I think we know who the top 5 will be. How about the top 6? Give us your order for the college football playoff top 6 that'll be unveiled tonight.
Tim, I think you've got to start with LSU. I mean, their body of work throughout the regular season, who they've beat, the big games that they've won, really, to me, no one else in the top 10 even comes close to them. So I think they're a definitive number 1. I hate to play the homer card, Tim, but I think Ohio State's got to be 2 just because of how impressive they've been in their victories. Yeah, you can question the strength of schedule, but Ryan Day has come in and just picked up where Urban Meyer left off. So I'd say them at 2, probably Bama 3. Mm-hmm. Clemson hasn't been that great this year, but I think you got to put them 4, probably Penn State 5, and then you're looking at all of the one-loss teams. I don't think Baylor, I don't think Minnesota's quite ready to get up there. I'd love to see Minnesota number 6, and P.J. Fleck and his group of boat rowers there, and I don't want to play the SEC card and just put Georgia there because I know that's what the committee is going to do. What about like an Oregon up there at number 6? I mean, they should be undefeated, and then let that game against Auburn just slip away at the very beginning of the season. So, even though it's not going to happen, let's just do it to avoid the SEC homerism there and go LSU, Ohio State, Bama, Clemson, Penn State, Oregon.
That would exactly be my top 6 in the exact same order, if as far as here's what I would like to see. But I think that you are also hitting the nail on the head. I think the committee will have LSU, Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, Penn State, Georgia. I think they'll have Georgia ahead of Oregon State, Utah, and the Minnesota, Baylor. I think they will all be in the top 10, but I have a feeling Georgia is going to be that team that's going to be the first one-loss team listed in the playoff rankings. Just a gut feeling.
Tim, unfortunately, for those of us outside SEC country, that seems to be the way the world works, is that whoever is the highest-rated one-loss, from the SEC, highest-rated 2-loss, 3-loss, et cetera, et cetera. So those of us above the Mason-Dixon line have just kind of grown to accept this, for better or worse.
Yeah, so it will be interesting. And once again, these numbers mean nothing. I'm sure that there will be, it has already been out there on social media, the odds of the top 2 teams that are listed in tonight's rankings have never met for a national championship and all that good stuff. Teams.
Well, and don't sleep on this, Tim, because we talk about the undefeated. It's a historic day on Saturday because I believe, if I read this correctly, you've got the first time ever 2 8-0 matchups on the same day. Of course, LSU, Alabama, but arguably an even bigger matchup, Tim, in the Big Ten. 8-0 Penn State, 8-0 Minnesota. Why that isn't number 1 versus number 2, I don't know. But maybe the committee will throw a curveball and rectify that situation tonight. Maybe it'll be Penn State 1, Minnesota 2, and then LSU and Alabama somewhere down the middle of the list.
I did have respect for P.J. Fleck lobbying to have College Game Day come to the Minnesota-Penn State game rather than LSU at Alabama. I thought that was it was pretty ballsy, and bold.
Well, what was it, Tim? College Game Day, they've been to, like, Memphis. I think they went to South Dakota State for a game.
Yeah.
So just, really unlucky on his behalf. But, P.J. Fleck, he's probably not going to be in Minnesota for very much longer either.
No, he's not. I know the Football Scoop this morning says that Minnesota is working on getting an additional contract extension, but it's not going to get signed. Why would he? He's the 11th highest paid coach in the Big Ten right now. He's gone from 5-7 to 5-7 to 7-6, and now 8-0 in 3 years. He took Central Michigan from 1-11 to 8-5, 8-5, 13-1. It's kind of what the guy does. He builds programs from basically a death spiral and makes them formidable foes for anybody by year 3 or 4. So if you're Florida State, if you're USC, if you're Arkansas, are you not ready to back up a Brinks truck up to Minneapolis and see if you can pry that guy away from the Rust Belt up there?
Well, you would think so. And it's funny, Tim, you mentioned James Laurinaitis earlier, and he's on the radio as we speak here in Columbus. I was listening to him earlier this week, and they were actually talking about programs that have had some trouble hiring outside guys that, when you pass the baton, teams like Oklahoma and Ohio State that have been able to promote from within, like Lincoln Riley, like Ryan Day, have fared better than a school like Texas that's gone out and gotten a Tom Herman, or Michigan that's gone out and gotten a Jim Harbaugh. So it'd be interesting to see, because P.J. Fleck, you always knew that if he had any modicum of success at all in Minnesota, that he was not going to be long for that world.
Right.
So, if USC takes a chance on him, can he kind of break that streak and kind of break that glass ceiling that seems to be there for these big programs? Look at Nebraska and the struggles that they've had with Scott Frost this year. It just seems like it's hard for coaches to come in who are taking that next step up to really reclaim the glory that these huge programs think that they deserve. And we had this conversation earlier in the year, Tim, that the gap from the top 3 to 4 teams to the rest of the top 10 and top 15 seems to be just so large. So it'd be interesting to see who takes on that challenge. You mentioned Florida State. I'm already seeing Twitter rumors right now that one Bob Stoops may be in Tallahassee as we speak, which I cannot imagine, Tim, how this would not be a huge story of the betrayal of the XFL.
Exactly.
And the Dallas, whatever you call them.
Desperados, aren't they the
Bob
Desperados?
Stoops
Yeah.
To leave Vince McMahon at the altar.
Here's the thing.
Heartbreaking for the XFL.
Adam Hester, who for some godforsaken reason is a Texas Longhorn fan, is hoping that the Desperados just go to another Oklahoma coach to fill the roster if Stoops leaves and they hire Lincoln Riley. That would be a bold move by Vince McMahon if he could get that done.
I think you've got a better chance of Lincoln Riley main eventing WrestleMania against The Undertaker next year than him coaching in the XFL at this point, but it's worth a wish.
Yeah, I think there's some validity to that. All right, Matt Yoder. Around here, it's Hate Bama Week and Hate Falcon Week. It's the best of both worlds. The two most nastiest, foulest enemies of teams that most people around here consider their favorites. You're my favorite, Richard Christie. You've got Alabama Saturday for LSU and Atlanta on Sunday against the Saints. If you're a wagering man, the chance that Louisiana fans will be super satisfied by Sunday night, as far as football is concerned, on a scale of 1 to 10, would be what?
Let's go 6.75. It's a very specific number, I know, but you got to figure the Saints probably have at least an 80-90% chance. LSU maybe a little less than 50-50. I mean, I'd love to put LSU at greater than 50-50, just the way they've played this season. Bama hasn't looked quite at their all-conquering best. Tua coming back from the injury, but Tim, you would know better than I. Is the losing streak against Alabama going to be that much of a mental block for LSU this week? They've got a lot of demons to try to overcome with this game, and that's what I question. And right now, we have that up here, Tim, with this Michigan-Ohio State rivalry, where it just seems to be such a mental hurdle, let alone the talent discrepancy on the field between the two programs, that it almost seems like the longer Michigan goes up here without beating Ohio State, the harder and harder it becomes. So I'd be curious if the same might be true for LSU when it comes to Alabama. But if there is a year, gosh, you'd think it would be this one for LSU to get back and get that victory. But I've seen, Tim, that Alabama's probably a 6-7 point favorite, maybe more if you know Tua is going to play. So it's still a pretty big hill for LSU to overcome. And on the Saints side, Tim, it would probably be the upset of the season if they fell to the Falcons on Sunday.
That would be bad. And it appears that Matt Schaub is still going to be quarterbacking the Falcons as far as anything that I've heard. Here's one thing, though. Have you heard any differently, by the way, with that?
I have not, Tim. I haven't dug into the Falcons injury news yet, but it's one of those things, Tim, where what is there really to salvage for Matt Ryan and the Falcons this season? So right. I would be surprised unless you're out there trying to save Quinn's job, which at this point may be unsavable.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know they've shuffled around some coaching duties. I said coaching duty. They shuffled around some of the coaching duties, but nothing really big. Matt Ryan was held out of practice again yesterday, so it seemed like it'd be kind of a dumb thing to bring him back. But we are talking about the Falcons. So, with that said, Next Gen Stats charts everything, obviously, with every game out there. And some interesting info has been kind of unveiled as far as what Drew Brees did on Sunday. His average completion yardage via air, according to Next Gen Stats, was 3.4 yards, which was only 1/10 of a yard longer than Joe Flacco. Short pass Drew, coming back from his injury. longer passes tended to sail on him, including one that was picked off by Patrick Peterson. Typically we're not talking about average yards completion, the average completed air yards, the CAY, is not a big number. You're not going to see 18, 19 yards. Typically, for instance, the leader last week was Jameis Winston at 11.1 yards. Matthew Stafford second, 9.5. Then it goes to 9.4. Russell Wilson, 8.6. But 3.4 yards completed, average completed air yards for Drew Brees. Do you think he's healthy enough to kind of keep this thing rolling, or is that, and we're going to see this type of play the rest of the way, the dink and dunk for Drew Brees, or do you think that maybe you'll see him open it up a little bit more this week and throw the ball, complete the ball a little further downfield?
I would think you'd see him able to open up a little bit more, but a lot depends on what the defense gives to you. And if you're having success in that short passing game, then by all means, keep it going. It'll be interesting to see, though, Tim, if you can tell any discernible difference given the extra rest with the bye week. I mean, I know there was so much concern over Drew Brees and coming back too early and all of this stuff, but you're playing a Falcons defense, Tim, that isn't really playing at a high level this year. So if they give you some deep shots, then might as well go ahead and take them. But I think you'd have to probably see that as a trend over 3, 4, 5 weeks, kind of like you saw at the tail end of last season, Tim, before you really get worried, seeing just a one-game sample size with Drew Brees. So I think as he comes back, since he came out of that game clean last Sunday, or I guess the Sunday prior, to me, we're only going to see him be able to get more comfortable, expand, open up the passing game even more. So kind of like last year with the mysterious shoulder and kind of the questions around that, I'm not going to be concerned until it's a multi-game stretch where you really see the Saints offense restricted in any way.
The big news for the Saints, Matt Yoder, Alvin Kamara back in the fold. What kind of impact do you expect to see from number 41? What kind of changes do you see with the use of Latavius Murray with 41 back in the fold?
Yeah, this to me will be really one of the most interesting subplots on Sunday, Tim, because Latavius Murray just blossomed so much with Alvin Kamara out of the lineup. And I don't know if Sean Payton maybe didn't fully trust Latavius Murray, didn't see that he was fully integrated into the offense, but we saw Kamara really shoulder a lot of the load in the early parts of the season. That's definitely something you don't want to do because of the injury that we just saw, but also to keep him fresh for when it comes to playoff time. So to me, I think what we'll see on Sunday, especially working AK back from injury, is more of an even split like we saw and with Mark Ingram back in the day. So to me, it can only mean good things for the Saints offense because you can reduce the load on Kamara, you can have more balance, more of a direct downhill running threat. So I would love to see it not revert back to what we saw the first few weeks of the season and look more like last year's Saints, where you're getting Kamara, maybe 15 touches in this game, and maybe Latavius Murray's getting a dozen or 15 carries himself. I don't think, also given the level of competition, hopefully you're not going to need to lean on 20, 25 touches for Alvin Kamara to have some offensive success on Sunday as well.
Matt Yoder, we kind of gloss over. It's just not as sexy to talk about a team's defense as it is to talk about quarterbacks and running backs and points and offense and all that good stuff. The Saints' defense has been solid all season long. They have come up in spectacular fashion as well. What kind of effort does this defense need to turn in to keep the ball rolling?
Tim, they just got to keep doing what they're doing. I mean, you look at overall in the NFL, I mean, who would have thought we'd ever see the New Orleans Saints as the number 5 overall defense in yards per game? I mean, that's just extraordinary. So, to me, it starts and ends, and this is the element that we don't talk about enough, Tim, the streak that they have in not allowing a 100-yard rusher and their ability to stop the run and make teams one-dimensional is just so crucial to this team and this offense's success. And I think that's going to be really important down the stretch, because if you look at some of the teams that the Saints are going to have to contend with in the NFC, San Francisco, number 2 rush attack in the league. Minnesota, number 3. Carolina, Christian McCaffrey is down there at number 6. So you've got some very strong ground games in the NFC that are right up there competing with the Saints for the primo playoff positioning. So as long as you can keep that run defense stout and make some of these teams one-dimensional, it's going to go a long way for the continued success of the Saints this season.
Matt Yoder, you got a bold prediction for Sunday's game?
Boy, I don't see this one being close at all. I mean, to me, this is a 35-10 game.
Ooh. Okay, I'll take that.
Especially if you're going up against Matt Shaw.
Yeah.
Back off the bye. You should have Alvin Kamara's coming back.
Playing
All
at home.
chambers should be filled for the Saints team, so maybe 35-10 is even a little generous towards the Falcons. Of course, I always say this knowing that there's the possibility that I jinx this team on Sunday by being too overconfident, but man, it's tough to logically come up with any other result.
It seems like Dan Quinn is trying anything. He moved his wide receiver coach, Raheem Morris, who was the Buccaneers head coach for a couple of years, wasn't he? Yeah. He moved his receiver coach, Raheem Morris, this week to be secondary coach. And so Quinn says that part of the strengths are communication in the secondary, and we felt that was a spot that needed our attention. It was all hands on deck, but you can imagine that's one of Ra's many powers, his ability to communicate. We wanted to make sure from the technique side he'd bring fresh eyes over to the secondary in the communication space. Why didn't he have him there in the first place then?
I don't think I've ever heard Coach speak more clearly say to him, we are shifting around the deck chairs on the Titanic.
We have no idea what we're doing, why we're doing it, but by golly, we're doing something. We're not sitting here idly and sinking, by golly. We're going to do, that guy's going to go over to there, and that guy's going to come over here. Look at that. We're doing things differently. We're shuffling the deck. Yeah, it's kind of dumb.
Maybe, Tim, that's what Freddie Kitchens needs to try up here towards Cleveland. Maybe he needs to do a little cosmetics to rectify the Browns. More cosmetics, at least, than Baker Mayfield with his different facial hair looks on Sunday. As I think someone put it on Twitter, more times shaving on Sunday than touchdowns thrown. And it ended, Tim, with him looking like John Candy from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which is not the look that you want from your starting quarterback / shower ring salesman, I don't believe.
I think the Cam Newton scarf wrapped around like I've got a toothache and Baker Murray as Columbo / John Candy are the two looks you don't want your quarterback to kind of bring to the podium after a game. As far as this is so wild. What the Falcons are doing. They moved their running back coach to receivers coach, and the receivers coach is now the secondary coach. They're taking their special teams coach to the running back position. What this tells me more than anything is that being a position coach in the NFL just really isn't that big of a deal. Now you can coach whatever position what do you want to coach this week? I'd like to coach running backs. Okay, bring it over there. It seems like it diminishes the importance of specialty coaching in the NFL by what Dan Quinn is doing here.
Maybe it shows you just the type of coaching that's going on in Atlanta at the moment. But, yeah, I can't see that as nothing more than a panic move, shifting around that many responsibilities. Maybe Dan Quinn is just looking for some show of life from his team and a way to respond. But I can't imagine he's going to be in Atlanta too much longer if this is the solution because, again, your best player, Matt Ryan, if he's still on the sideline, you can make 75 coaching changes, and I don't think it's going to matter too much come Sunday.
You know, Matt, I'm just curious. You touched on the Cleveland Browns, my second favorite team, childhood favorite team, replaced by the Saints when I moved down here in '83 or whatever, the first time around. Boy, what's their problem? I mean, what's the general consensus in Central Ohio as far as what is happening with the Browns right now?
Well, Tim, it's really something. If you look at it, it's amazing. Hugh Jackson, I believe last year was fired with the Browns having a 2-5-1 record through 8 games. Through 8 games this year, Freddie Kitchens is 2-6. He's a half game worse. To me, they are the most disappointing team in the league, probably along with the Chicago Bears, and we know what a tire fire Mitch Trubisky's been. But we know that the Browns have a talented quarterback. We've seen it. We know Baker Mayfield can play at the NFL level. We know Odell Beckham Jr. can play. But, Tim, it just seems like they made a huge mistake in hiring Freddie Kitchens and letting the interim guy that had the good feelings go, because I don't think I've seen an NFL team so woefully undisciplined and woefully unprepared to take the field. I mean, they're playing a bad Denver Broncos team that's playing a backup quarterback. That should be a win 10 times out of 10. And yet, in spite of their talent, you just look at some of the coaching decisions, at what guys are on the field and what guys are getting the ball when, and how bad they are in the red zone and the crippling penalties that they make. I mean, it is just one thing after another for this team. And to me, you just see the Browns operate without really any sense of purpose, of mission, of direction. I mean, they just don't have any identity. And that's amazing given the talent that they have. And to me, that starts at the top. And as I've been thinking about the Browns this week, to me, what stands out when you look at teams and franchises like the Browns, like the Bengals, like the Dolphins, the Jets, these teams that just seemingly go through disappointment after disappointment, and then you look at teams like the Patriots, the Saints, the Packers, that always seem to be up there at the top no matter what. To me, it comes down to culture. The Saints, through Sean Payton, they didn't have this for a long time in their franchise history. But they have established enough of a run of success to where they now have an identity and a culture that every guy that they get is going to fit into that. Cleveland just doesn't have that, Timmy. You can't make that out of nothing. You can't just throw guys in and even throw talent in and establish a culture. It has to start with getting the right guys at the top of the franchise. And Baker Mayfield, I think, has to take some responsibility of that as well. I mean, we've seen him make a number of mistakes with the media, with calling out teammates in training camp, with Duke Johnson and him wanting a trade earlier this year. He needs to be a driving force in establishing a culture in Cleveland, just like Drew Brees was in New Orleans. But I don't think that's going to happen until they get the right head coach in there. Freddie Kitchens ain't it. So, to me, it's just another wasted season, and that's the disappointing thing for Browns fans, because this was finally going to be the year that it didn't happen. And I think that's what makes this maybe not as bad as 0-16, but pretty close, because you actually had some expectations coming into the year.
Last thing here for you, Matt. I'm going to throw some names at you, and you tell me what they have in common, okay? Benny Fowler, Zach Pascal, Keelan Cole, Jacob Hollister, Mike Gesicki, and Odell Beckham. What do they have in common?
Probably number of touchdown catches this year, I'm going to say.
Number of targets on Sunday.
Oof.
The Browns threw the ball to Odell Beckham Jr. the same number of passes that Keelan Cole received in his direction at Jacksonville, Zach Pascal with the Colts, Mike Gesicki with the Dolphins, Jacob Hollister with Seattle, each with 6 targets on the day. Seems to me that when you've got Odell Beckham, the best way to have Odell Beckham really come through for you is to maybe throw the ball in his direction as often as you possibly can and see what happens.
One would think so. But, that's funny, too, that you mentioned that, because like Michael Thomas, I think a lot of folks thought when Drew Brees went down, that his production would drop. But no, he's just that good at receiver that you can target him a dozen times, and he's going to catch 10 or 11 of them. So I don't know why. And that was the defining image from Sunday's game, was Odell Beckham open, streaking down the field, and Baker Mayfield just not finding him on a crucial fourth down play in the fourth quarter. But again, that comes back to the offensive identity of the head coach. Why are you not designing more plays for Odell Beckham? Why are the coach and the quarterback not saying, hey, we have a top 5 receiver in the league. Maybe we should target him a little more. And if we don't, theoretically, that should open up the field for really talented guys like Jarvis Landry, like David Njoku.
Right. David Njoku,
so again,
Jarvis Landry, and Nick Chubb. Instead, they're running the wheels off Chubb, and they're not throwing the ball to Beckham. It's so weird how a guy who supposedly is an offensive mastermind like Freddie Kitchens, I think they've got too many Freddies in the kitchen, and then you get him out of there.
Well, and then too, Tim, a guy like John Dorsey, you bring in all of these skill position players, and yet maybe the biggest issue for Cleveland is their offensive line.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield just doesn't have time to find Odell Beckham and these receivers. So you've built your team from the outside in instead of the inside out. And we know that you look at any successful team, Tim, they are built from the inside out, strength on the offensive and defensive line. And right now the Browns just don't have that. So to me, you just look at it, it's a failure at every level, and that's why I think they have to be up there as the biggest disappointment in the league this season.
Completely agree. Matt Yoder, Central Ohio's biggest Saints fan. Matt, what do we have coming our way on thecomeback.com today?
Well, speaking of disappointments, Tim, this has been maybe the biggest story of the year in the sports media world, and that is the sudden demise and death of Deadspin. This has been probably the most influential sports blog for well over a decade, and they've been through a lot of issues with Gawker and the Hulk Hogan thing, and being sold left and right, but they still kept going, and yet now they've been bought by this hedge fund company, and you have this stick to sports mandate, and the writers walk out, and the site's basically dead. Deadspin, I guess, and it's just, to me, such a sad state of affairs in the state of sports media and journalism when you see Deadspin, which has had such a unique so long, reported so many important stories, just fall by the wayside so easily. And then you've got Sports Illustrated basically transitioning into a content farm, and it's just not a good time for high-quality work out there. And I don't know, Tim, why you buy a site like Deadspin and try to turn it into something that is not Deadspin. It'd be like taking over for Sean Payton, coaching the New Orleans Saints, and saying, you know what, we've got the greatest quarterback in NFL history. We're going to run the wing T. Let's see if this is going to work. So just really strange, sad times in the sports media and the blogosphere specifically.
It is, it is a little odd. And what they have tried to do with their managers now trying to write their stories are like, oh, boy, there's a reason why you're on that side of the table. Put down the keyboard, man. You have no business trying to do anything. So I noticed they tried to do like a game recap, and someone said, hey, I've seen this but done better on a place called ESPN.com. That's not why people went to Deadspin, is for game recaps. That's kind of what sports websites, nuts and bolts, are going to give you. He's no nut. He's no bolt. He is just a handy piece of hardware that helps make our Tuesdays absolutely much more fun. He is Matt Yoder, Central Ohio's biggest Saints fan, comeback.com. Matt Yoder, means the world to have you on with us, buddy. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Tim. It's always a pleasure.
Our show, by the way, is presented to you by the wonderful people who make life so much better for you over at Daiquiri Express. Daiquiri Express with eggnog daiquiris. It's that time of year, Rogers. You've already seen a lot of the Christmas commercials, right? Starting to see more Santa Claus appearances. Yeah. So might as well get into the Christmas spirit with Eggnog Daiquiri. Mm-hmm. Daiquiri Express. Eggnog daiquiris are waiting for you right now. 5 locations, Rogers. 5 locations serving you. What's today, November 5th? You know what today's daiquiri of the day is? The Numb Nuts. So enjoy eggnog daiquiris or Numb Nuts. I don't know what goes into the Numb Nuts, but it sounds interesting. 5 location, the Daiquiri Express, serving you Mansfield Road with a drive-through location, Pines Road, North Market, where I-49 rolls through, Shreve City in the round building at the base of the Barksdale Bridge, and on Uri Drive, right across from LSUS. Come on, Numb Nuts. Time to load up on Daiquiri Express, locally and family-owned and operated. Rogers and I will be right back after this. The Cleanup Hour, hitting fourth. First Choice Personnel. Make First Choice Personnel your last call. 797-7810. The Saints have just taken the lead. You're enjoying Jimmy V's Fajita Factory fresh from scratch flour tortillas. You're dipping it into the salsa and it's taking a bite. Wait a minute. Did I just hear the Saints took a lead? Well, that means I get a free beer. That's right. Jimmy V's. Saints take the lead. Cowboys take the lead. LSU takes the lead in the game. Louisiana Tech takes the lead in the game. You're at Jimmy V's. You've got a free beer coming. So keep on dipping that fresh from scratch flour tortilla because you got a cold one coming your way. I literally was walking around one of those big box stores, you know, that sells sporting equipment the other day, and family was looking for helmets.
Yeah.
And little kid who still had Clearasil on his face said, "Over there's the helmets."
They don't know.
They don't know.
What do they know?
They know nothing.
We'll go somewhere where they do know something.
Oh, Sports World.
There.
8809 Joella. Been around since 1973. Hester, they got helmets that can fit our heads.
They do, and they know the needs of the local coaches.
They certainly
These other
do.
places don't.
No, they don't know the local coaches. Sports World, 8809 Joella. When you think of ice cold beer, Puff, what do you think of?
Red River Brewing.
When you think of so many abundant flavors that are just incredible, bursting on your tongue, what do you think of?
Red River Brewing.
1200 Marshall Street, where downtown meets I-20. I am sitting here at Chevyland with Bubba Winningham. Truck Month is here, and has he got a deal for you?
Fletch, you know, people want a good truck. They want a 4-door crew cab truck with lots of equipment on it, and they want it for a good price. We've got that truck, a new 2019 Silverado Crew Cab LT with power seat and heated seats and keyless start, $29,995. You want a truck under $30,000? We've got it, $29,995 during Truck Month at Chevyland, and we got plenty of them.
Chevyland, 7500 Uri Drive, $29,995. Brand new truck. When it comes to musicals, our pal Rogers Hampton loves Grease because it's electrifying. Well, they've got some electrifying opportunities at First Choice Personnel, don't you, Nicole?
We do. We're looking for people who have electrical experience. If you're foreman, if you're just basic journeyman, we need you.
It's electrifying. First Choice Personnel, 797-7810. Local Mudbugs fan, Adam Hester, joining us in studio. Season Number 4 in the North American Hockey League.
Of Mudbugs 2.0.
What's your favorite part about the Knoll?
These kids are hungry, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to get that scholarship. They're trying to get drafted in some cases. They're trying to get to the next level of hockey and realize their dreams. So I love that about the Knoll.
Gonna eat Mudbugs hockey. Get hungry. These are dark times for us chicken fans. One of our favorite places to eat on Uri Drive is closed for construction for a couple of months. But have no fear, Walk-Ons is here. They have got your chicken strips, your boneless chicken nuggets, your chicken sandwiches, your waffle fries. They've even got sweet and sour sauce packets, honey mustard packets to go with those chicken strip meals. And to make it even more convenient for you, 8 spots at the Walk-Ons parking lot for you to pull in and pick up. They will bring you your chicken with curbside service. Walk-Ons to save the day. The Cleanup Hour, hitting fourth. First Choice Personnel. Make First Choice Personnel your last call. 797-7810.
KWKH Shreveport Bossier City. 1130 The Tiger, Shreveport and Bossier's #1 sports station.
Good morning, everybody. It's about 11 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock. Swoop Breakfast is ready for you, buddy. We're gearing up for that little crossover time where Swoop Breakfast sounds so good. Beautiful, wonderful, flaky, delicious biscuit with sausage, bacon, egg, cheese, you name it. All of that biscuit, or a croissant, or the breakfast pizza, or the breakfast burrito. But we're also nearing that time here in about an hour where, wait a minute, I could get a down-home sausage barbecue po' boy. I could get a grilled shrimp po' boy. I can get a roast beef po' boy with gravy. Can I just kind of hang out here at Swoop and eat my biscuit at 9:50 and then at 10:07 order my po' boy? Yes, you can. You can pull the cranberries and linger. They've got a nice little place for you to sit there. You can go wash your hands in between in that incredible, huge, clean restroom. Get whatever beverage you want. Remember, Rogers Rogers says he struck gold in the beer cave. He did some spelunking in there. Swoop, locally owned and operated, right there on Burt Coons, just off I-49, across from Home Depot. Brighten your day at Swoop.
This SEC update is brought to you by Red River Brewing, 1200 Marshall Street in Shreveport. They're open hump day to holy day.
A couple of things that happened this weekend to get off my chest. The Arkansas Razorbacks have a 17-game SEC losing streak. That's their second 17-game losing streak in the SEC. Chad Morris is now tied for the second longest SEC losing streak to start his tenure at 0-14. Vanderbilt's George McIntyre started off with 15 consecutive losses, so Morris can set a new record if the Hogs will just lose to LSU and Missouri to finish out the season. Gotta have hope. Victories in small bunches, Rogers Hampton. Not all wins come gift wrapped. Georgia is the only FBS team that has not allowed a rushing touchdown this entire season. I like them apples. Basketball season gets underway, and there's a full slate of basketball games on the docket. Florida welcomes North Florida. Georgia takes on Western Carolina. Tennessee and UNC Asheville. Alabama plays Penn. Arkansas and Rice. Mississippi State FIU. Auburn, ranked 24th, welcomes Georgia Southern. And Kentucky, ranked number 2 in the land, battles number 1 Michigan State.
This SEC update was brought to you by Red River Brewing. They're open from hump day to holy day. Red River Brewing, 1200 Marshall Street.
They're open today through Holy Day. As a matter of fact, the Mudbugs Coach's Corner going on tonight from 7 o'clock until about 8:30 or so. Hang out with Coach Jason Soupy Campbell, a couple of the boys. There will be a really cool piece of Mudbugs memorabilia, merchandise given away to one lucky fan. If you're a Mudbugs fan or a beer fan or a barbecue fan, come on out. Smokehouse Restaurant inside Red River Brewing. Mudbugs Hockey. Coaches report tonight. Text here. Congrats to Shreve's junior varsity going 8-0 and outscoring their opponents 193-42. So you're telling me that Shreve is 8-1 overall with a 1-point loss, their only loss, which could have been, actually, some people will still tell you that the extra point at Scotlandville went through the uprights. It was called no good. So you're saying that Shreve, undefeated in district play, 8-1 overall, and their JV's 8-0? I don't think they're going away anytime soon, Rogers.
That sounds like they got a pretty good steady game plan going over there.
Yeah, interesting.
Kind of like building your system.
Building the system, Rogers.
Sounds like a good, solid plan right there.
It does sound like a depth, perception.
That's right.
It's all there. Rogers, the idea that Bob Stoops could be the new Florida State coach apparently is kind of news to Bob Stoops.
Okay.
Or at least those close to him say that they can't imagine him wanting to get back into the college game again.
Me either, unless they just threw a Jimbo Fisher contract at him like A&M did.
$7.5 million a year.
Yeah.
Get you out of
8. Maybe even say, you know what? Let's make it 10.
We'll make it 10.
Jimbo's 4-4, 5-4, whatever he is. You're paying him 10?
We'll give you $10 million to turn away from the Dallas Desperados in the XFL.
Yeah.
And join up with Florida State and rebuild this program.
I mean, I can see if there's a school that would lure him back, it's one with that kind of name and that kind of reputation. And, Bobby Bowden's still a part of the program, so it's legendary coaching legacy there. And, I mean, just a few short years ago, they were the NC and had the Heisman Trophy winner. So, I mean, I could see, like with Urban, a guy who's accomplished so much in his coaching career, it's going to have to be one of the choice jobs, one of the plum jobs, one of the peach jobs, whatever fruit adjective you want to use.
I like it.
It's got to be one of the better high-profile jobs to make them come back out.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think it would be a very interesting hire, but I also think that Florida State is going to make a big run. My guess is Mike Norvell of Memphis. I think that's the guy. And of the job openings right now, I think if USC comes open, I think they really do try to get Urban Meyer. I think they're going to try desperately to get him. He's already out there for Fox.
Yeah, absolutely.
They do their shows out there on the weekends.
That's not that big of a move.
Probably hasn't. I would be surprised if there hasn't already been a little bit of discussion between maybe some people associated with the university and at least Urban's people.
Part of your job now is to commentate on college football, and you have access to interviews of coaches and administrators and players. Yeah, I think it's probably come up.
It's probably come up. So I think that in the grand carousel here is going to have Meyer to Southern Cal, Norvell to Florida State, and in that regard, if Arkansas loses Saturday to Western Kentucky, Rogers, Chad Morris is fired that day.
You think so?
I think so. I like the idea of Chad Morris. I like Chad Morris. I think he seemed like
you really nice did.
Fellow.
You were really, really on board from the start.
This appears to be like Matt Yoder was saying about Freddie Kitchens in Cleveland.
Just not quite
not
ready.
Right thing.
Just
not the
right fit.
Not the right fit.
Yeah.
And so time to move on. And if I'm Arkansas, if Norvell, who would be my number one choice, is out, you're never going to get Urban Meyer to Fayetteville, so that's not even in the question.
Yeah.
I think that you go hard for P.J. Fleck because you've seen him rebuild two programs with no football history. Minnesota had history back in the 40s and 30s, but since then, Minnesota football has been really nothing except when Lou was up there.
Yeah, I mean, you had the real great period with Hayden Fry and Luther and all them. That was a real good run that they had.
They had a wonderful with only three coaches.
Yeah.
The Screaming Eagles of Minnesota
It was amazing
State.
what they did.
Yes. But I think that that's what Arkansas's got to do. They've got to make a push towards they've got to do something. Because as it is right now, the big
What
money,
about even if he doesn't lose? And then he loses the last
if he
SEC game.
Yeah, he's done.
Okay.
I think Chad is done.
Okay.
Unless the only way Chad Morris saves his job, John Stephen Jones is getting the start this week, and KJ Jefferson's going to get some playing time as well. So the two freshman quarterbacks are going to be carrying the water this week against Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I assume they'll do the same thing against LSU in the season ender against Missouri. If for some strange reason, if they can catch lightning in a bottle and they go 3-0 in these final three games, that would save his job. But they're not going to do that. They're not going to beat LSU. They're going to get drummed by LSU. They're going to get drummed by Missouri. And if they lose to Western Kentucky, like I said, I don't think Chad will be around to coach.
He want him there for the last two games.
He should have. He should have canned Chavis on Saturday night.
It's just amazing how that guy was at the top of the defensive coordinator mountain, and now has done that roll down where you just kept going and going and going.
You know what rolls downhill, Rogers?
It does.
And that's what that
big
Arkansas
old snowball.
Defense, big brown snowball.
And don't eat the yellow snow on the way down, man.
It has not been good. So there are going to be some big moves, and I know that the fellas over at football.
Well, give me three names that you would be happy with, because there's a chance you probably won't get. So if you don't get PJ, how far before you think you're settling, or do you like, hey, it's got to be one of these three to make the Arkansas fan base confident or happy or
Norvell
enthusiastic?
would be number one.
You think that he'd be number one for the whole fan base if you had to take a poll?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I think PJ Fleck would be number 2.
I mean, you're not two good names.
And I think the third choice for me, if I'm putting it together, dude, I literally am calling Joe Brady and saying, hey, you've seen what you can do as an architect.
Do you want to be a head coach?
Do you want to be a head coach? Are you ready for this?
Yeah. Do you want to go up against Coach O?
Yeah, we need your help.
Yeah.
You could come in here and, build it from here. I said back when they were hiring Chad that they would be fools not to call Dave Aranda.
Yeah.
And at least explore if they don't get Chad Morris, if they don't get PJ Fleck back then.
Yeah.
I said, call Dave Aranda's people and make him an offer. Hey, how about $3.5 million, your first head coaching job? And I think the same
in
thing
the SEC.
the SEC. And I think I would do the same thing for Joe Brady. I'd say, hey man, we will give you an assistant coaching salary pool of money to where you can bring in the DC that you really want. You're going to build this staff. You want all young guys. You want some seasoned vets. You see what it's like to have had some of the older grizzled veterans on staff at LSU and what that means and how that experience plays a big role in bringing the young coaches together and yada, yada, yada. Dude, here you go. Have at it. You're the man.
Yeah.
But I don't know what, kind of like with Aranda, I don't think we know what the end game is for Joe Brady.
Yeah.
If the end game is for him to be an NFL head coach or if he wants to just be the guy in the lab who's just sitting there coming up with these offensive formations and manipulations, and that's all he ever wants to do. So I don't know. But Arkansas's they've got to do something to jolt that program back to life. Because it's dead.
That's where I was going with my next question. By any chance would the fan base be upset with a Lane Kiffin hiring? A jolt like that? Is that too much?
I think Kiffin's.
That's too much?
I think that he's proven that.
Too much baggage?
The baggage thing, but I just don't know how good of a coach he is.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
You're at Florida Atlantic. You've got resources out the wazoo, and there's a guy over in Ruston who is coaching the pants off of you and just about everybody else in the league.
But if they did something crazy like that,
I wouldn't be happy about that.
Okay. All right. I just wanted
Always
your honest
will be
opinion.
a Razorback fan, but I just don't want that guy being the head coach for the Arkansas Razorbacks. I saw that bug where PJ Fleck is rumored to be close to a contract extension. Minnesota is close to extending it, but he hasn't come close to signing it from what I've read. And if I'm PJ Fleck, if he loves it in Minnesota, then absolutely you want to stick around, but you would be foolish not to see what possibly shakes down at USC, what possibly shakes down in Tallahassee, what may shake down in Cleveland, Ohio, for Pete's sake. You know, that's the other thing. There's going to be an NFL job opening in Atlanta. There's going to be an NFL job opening, I think, in Cleveland. I think there's going to be an NFL job opening in, let's see, maybe Tennessee, maybe in New York with the Jets. Could be one and done with Gase. And Flores has been a great company man for the Dolphins, but is he who they're going to trust with Tua or Joe or whomever? PJ Fleck may be a guy that could just move straight from Minneapolis to Cleveland, you know? And that's not counting in for how many of these guys may be retiring. We don't know what's going to happen with Jason Garrett just yet. What if the Cowboys don't go on a run? What if they do end up replacing their head coach? Who's going to take that gig? And if it's Lincoln Riley, then all of a sudden, look at Oklahoma's job is open. So if I'm PJ Fleck, I am like, you know what? It's 28 degrees here, and it's November 4th. And it's not going to be above 35 until kind of hard to row the boat through 4 inches of ice. I know he's used to that. He played at, where was it that he played? Because it's the job opening there. Rutgers. He was, I think he's a Rutgers guy. And I know he's a wide receiver coach there, but he's coached, everything he's ever done has been north of the Mason-Dixon line. But if I'm him, thanks for the contract proposal. I'll take a look at this. Get back to me in about 3 weeks, and I'll find out what else is out there. Bayou Bellway's Trash Text Line. What about Sonny Dykes to Arkansas? Sonny, I think, is in the same boat, unfortunately, as Skip is. I think extremely good coach, but I think there's ageism in college football, and I think it sucks. I think Sonny, I would take, and I am not saying this because we have Skip on here. Dude, if they announced tomorrow that Skip Holtz is going to be the head coach at Arkansas, I'd be as happy as could be. I really would. I think, well, we're in good hands. We're in very good hands. 6 bowl games in a row, 6 bowl wins in a row. You know, I ain't going to complain about that. 318, how would you feel about another Coach Holtz in Arkansas? Yeah. Do you think Dennis Allen gets a look in the NFL? Yes. I think so. I think he will get a look. I don't know if he'll get hired. Hugh Freeze will come cheap. Yeah, I ain't buying his burner phone. I don't know why anyone would want the Arkansas gig. LSU, Bama, Auburn, and Aggie Senior Division. I think they give Morris another year. That comes from Donnie's brother, who played for Chad Morris at Elysian Fields. Here's the thing, man. I wish that Chad Morris was successful, just because I think that I love the idea of an East Texas high school coach being the head coach at Arkansas and succeeding. I think Scott Surratt, would have been a really good hire for Arkansas back in the day as a wide receiver coach when Mallett was up there. I know they were talking to him about it. And I know Jeff Traylor out of Gilmer is up there, and I know Chad out of Elysian Fields. You've got to recruit this area being East Texas, Northwest Louisiana, if you're going to have any success at Arkansas, because Arkansas high schools aren't going to produce enough. And so I love the idea of Chad being like, man, he has success, and he gets these kids, and he gets the high school coaches in Texas to come on board. They could open up some pipelines here, but he just hasn't had the success. And as much as it may work in a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, you look at that stadium and you see 25,000 people, which means there are 50,000 not paying to come into the game, 50,000 not paying parking, 50,000 not buying concessions, 50,000 not donating to the program in some shape, form, or fashion on Saturdays. That dries up in a quick. I mean, that'll kill your coffers. No postseason bowl money, no postseason bump. There's a lot of things that go into this. Billy joins us on the Mudbugs Hockey Hotline right now. Hey, Billy, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Fletch, how you doing today?
I'm good, man.
All right, first, when it comes to coaching, I think it's getting about time in all of this where we don't give these coaches like this big. I mean, down in Florida State right now, they're stuck.
Yeah.
Look at that buyout they've got with Taggart.
It's crazy.
That's got to stop, Fletch.
Well, and one of the things and this is when I mentioned it to my wife, she was like, so they're paying him $17 million not to coach, and those kids are getting how much extra money? I'm like, not a dime.
Right.
And, that's...
We're going to take the $17 million and give 10 of it to the kids.
Right. How about this? If you're going to have to buy out a coach, then whatever money it is for the buyout gets divvied up among the football team as well. Maybe that'll lower some of the buyout packages. But right. It's insane. If they say they don't have money to pay the student athletes, but they're giving $17 million to the guy that they don't want there anymore, you can't tell me that you can pay Florida State every student athlete in every sport. That $17 million would probably be spread out over 10 years, would be able to pay kids an extra $2,500 a month.
Right. Kansas is the only reason why we're not paying Les Miles right now.
Right. And the Patriots are apparently,
huh?
I'm with you. Exactly. Now, here's what's going to happen real quick before we get into that. The big hope for the players right now, I know we're talking about the image and likeness, and we're all thinking that Joe Burrow T-shirts. When EA Sports comes back out with that NCAA football game, which they will, and they are now able to pay the likeness, every college football player is going to be that's on a roster will be on the EA Sports roster for, NCAA 2020 or whatever, when that game will be made and sold. And so they're going to start getting little pieces of the pie like that. So when you hear about to get paid for the likeness and image, don't just think it's to do a Chevy commercial for Baton Rouge Chevy or something like that. There are other ways that these kids are going to be able to start making some money. Now, it doesn't come close to what they should be making, in my opinion, but that's one avenue of revenue. So,
well, until the right guard starts getting played, come and see me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When the right guard starts getting paid, but this likeness thing, then come and see me and tell me how good this is.
Well, and what happens is, Billy, and I completely agree with this, and I've adhere to this philosophy, is that, okay, the right guard, or then you could say, what about the midfielder on the girls' soccer team? Well, don't forget, what about we've got our club hockey team? Well, once again, if you're going to start paying everybody the same thing, hey, this is not socialism. This isn't Russia. Is this Russia? This isn't Russia. The manager at Walmart gets paid more than the greeter. You know,
talk to Tua and Burrow this weekend about how good the white guards are. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because they're going to need them. They're going to need them this weekend.
I get it, but there's a reason why quarterbacks make more money in the NFL. They don't pay the right guard for the New Orleans Saints. Isn't making the same money that the quarterback is for the New Orleans Saints.
No, but he's making some, Fletch. They're not stupid in the NFL.
Right, and that's why I'm saying the EA Sports thing is going to give money to everybody.
College wants to pay them none.
When it happens.
All right, is what I see.
Good point.
All right, so, and then finally, Fletch, real quick, and then I'm off with you. I need to know what teams, because right now I believe Florida State is on the edge of being nothing as a program. And you never know how quick this can go from being a really great program to where you're an afterthought. And Florida State is real close to being an afterthought. And I get your take off of that.
Yeah, they are. That's where they are now. That's why they've got to hire someone, whether it's a Bob Stoops or a Mike Norvell, or they've got to get somebody who is going to challenge Clemson. They don't need to get to 7 wins, 8 wins. They need somebody that's going to come in and next year give Clemson a run for their money in the ACC. They cannot afford this. They can't lose to Miami again. They've got to be the second best team in the ACC in year one, and whomever comes in, because that's what they're going to get paid to do. And so if you're going to do that, and Florida State's been lacking in their facilities for quite some time now, and they're still trying to catch up in that arms race, and that's just it. You decide. You make the choice. And they have clearly, with the firing of Taggart and the payout they're giving him for the buyout, they are showing that they are going to make that choice to join the arms race. They are going to put the waterfalls in. They're going to put, the sleeping pods. They're going to get into that race because they have been dependent on so long of we're Florida State. We're the Knowles. We got Dion. We got Bobby Bowden. Look at all the players that have come through here. Look at the Heisman Trophy. Look at that. All that's out there. And they've just been depending on the rich Florida high schools to just be enough to where, hey, man, Gators get some, Canes get some, we get some, and we're all going to be happy. Well, now Clem's getting some of those. Alabama's getting some of those. LSU's getting some of those. Mac's going to get them in North Carolina. They're going everywhere. And so that coach, when he comes in, it is not going to be a slow burn, slow build. It is going to have to be, dude, you better win 9 or 10 games a week in year one. Because that's what we're paying you to do. It is a high-pressure cooker what they are walking into. And you got to have somebody who's ready to roll right out of the chute. Stoops, to me, is a guy who's not that guy. He's been out of the game for 3 years now. He's just, I just don't think that's the right. Kids forget. You're talking about now you're going to be recruiting 15-year-old kids, 16-year-old kids. They probably don't know who Bob Stoops is. You might as well put Bobby Bowden back out there. And Stoops has only been gone, literally, this is his 3rd year away, right?
It's not much.
Yeah. Because Lincoln Riley coached Mayfield and Murray, right? And now he's got, in this Lincoln Riley's 3rd year? So you better hire somebody. And Heupel with Central Florida hasn't won enough to where you can bring him from Orlando to Tallahassee. Is not going to make anybody that happy, I don't think. It better be somebody who is like, you understand what we're going to, you're going to be able to live the life of a king, but you're not going to be able to afford, it's not going to be a monarchy to where you have lifetime decree here to do what you want. Dude, you better get your ass winning games immediately. Bayou Bellway's Trash text line, and Hugh Freeze, he's the head coach of a little bitty Liberty University. They're 6-3, just beat UMass. We saw what he did in Arkansas State. I think that Arkansas will have to get somebody on the rebound because a great coach with a great future does not want to be in a dumpster fire, but it would be the ultimate redemption for Hugh Freeze. That's your guy. Go ahead and call him. I said, nope, Hogs can't afford to have another backfire hire. and that's what that would be. There's too much that could go wrong with Hugh Freeze coming up there. It's not Art Briles as far as that kind of baggage, but there's baggage, and if you're recruiting against him, which it's just too easy. The target is on his back of how easy it is to have negative recruiting against Hugh Freeze if he's your guy. Oh, well, so you're looking at see where you're visiting Arkansas next week. Yes, sir. They have offensive lines kind of depleted. They told me I'd have a good chance to start as a true freshman. Well, is that so? I just want to talk to your parents here for a second. You know that their head coach, Hugh Freeze, you know what he did at Ole Miss. Now, we know that there are people that can change stripes and yada, 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 but when you come to XYZ University, we go to prayer meetings and we mean it. There's so many things you can do to where you can knock Hugh Freeze down to where he is the scum of the earth. Whether or not he is or not, you can make him appear that way because all you got to do is look at what happened 4 years ago. You know that not only was he using his phone to call escort service, you know that he lied to the NCAA. You see what he did to Houston Nutt? Here's a guy who did all he could for Ole Miss. Man, he put old poor Houston Nutt through the ringer. He said it was his fault that all these guys. That's why they were in problems. You know that they had some kids transfer from there and were immediately eligible because of the lies that Hugh Freeze was telling his players. So if he would lie to his players, what's he going to tell a recruit? And if you're the mom and dad of that recruit, what are you going to tell your son? You ain't going to play for that guy. It's just, I could knock Hugh Freeze right now as a recruit. So what's a guy like Ed Orgeron or Jeremy Pruitt or Moorhead or Odom or anybody in the SEC? Dude, you can blow Hugh Freeze out of the water when it comes to why you wouldn't want to go there. Bama Doug says if the SEC is not the best conference top to bottom anymore, who is? Well, they are. Big Ten's good. And right there with them this time around. But this is John Deere. Florida State raised that money specifically to fire their coach. But they also got $1 million from him to build facilities, which is kind of like, that's dastardly. Oh, we'll take $1 million from you and then fire you the next year. Bug Johnny says that new rule for college football will have a big impact on coaching searches. Also, big city programs can have bigger endorsement deals than Tallahassee or Norman, Oklahoma. You would think, I get what you're saying now, where if you're in L.A. at UCLA or USC, you would think that if you're going to try to pay a player his likeness or image, that likeness or image would be a lot more worthwhile if you're playing in the city of Los Angeles. What's going to stop Will Ferrell, who's a big USC fan, from saying, hey, yeah, I'll put you in my movie here, man. Pay you $1 million to come out here and do a little cameo. So, I see where that could be along those lines. Cupcake says, skip Holtz to Florida State. Jones says, prayer champion, what a hypocrite. And I am a believer, so I do believe in forgiveness, but in the game of college football, it's elephant memories for every coach out there. They have something on everybody they're recruiting against. And Hugh Freeze is, like I said, it's just too easy of a target. Couple of texts from a while ago, Rogers, we'll get to here on the Bayou Bellways Trash text line. Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold should make Joe Burrow pray he doesn't go number one in the draft. I'm Joe Burrow. I'm hoping to fall to the Patriots. Then he'll look like the greatest quarterback ever. Burrow is going to end up being a Cincinnati Bengal. I think you can almost book it. He's not going to fall to 32. Burrow is going 1 through 4 in the draft. And I have a bad feeling he's going to be a Cincinnati Bengal. Yeah, unless someone trades out. But who's got that kind of draft equity? Kachu says maybe he needs more study time to pass his classes so he can play in the playoffs, talking about Michael Divinity. The Guardian says, with postseason play starting for cross-country and volleyball, any chance you gentlemen can have some of the local coaches on? Never know. 318 Tech needs to win Conference USA, get the top 15, and have the AAC champ be a lower-ranked team, essentially need an AAC championship upset to get into the New Year's Six. 318, where is Jeter's mullet? I didn't know Jeter had a mullet. He's always been a pretty well-coiffed guy, I think. 318, I've got a scary redemption story. Did you read about how warm Millie Bobby Petrino was greeted by the quarterback club in Little Rock a few weeks ago, like a conquering hero returning home, prodigal son? Bobby Petrino will not be the head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks. That I am relatively certain. I think Danny Ford has a better chance of being the returning coach. Bielema has a better chance of being the coach at Arkansas than Bobby Petrino. Yeah, Corso's going to be the new Florida State head coach. And Burt Reynolds. Burt, alive or dead? Real quick, Burt Reynolds alive or dead? You got to put money on it. Ooh, was an American actor.
That's usually not a good word.
Died September last year.
I thought it would have been pretty recently.
I thought we talked about that, yeah. All right. Old bandit. He's hopefully heaven bound and down. Honey Baked Ham is your ham quarters for the holidays. My stars in heaven. How I love their ham. I love their turkey. I love their musk. I love the way they smell. I want to get an apartment with a ham. I think I could be roommates with a Honey Baked Ham. If Allie ever kicks me out of the house, which I could understand why she would, I'm kind of a slob. I'm kind of fat and, hairy. A lot of sink clogging, all that good stuff. If I ever had to get a roommate, I think I would get a Honey Baked Ham to be my roommate. Just kind of go to the games with the ham, watch TV with my ham, have a cold beer. That is one freaking good ham. I love Honey Baked Ham. Your ham quarters for the holidays. Honey Baked Ham. Southville and Uri. Give them a call. Place your order for your Thanksgiving turkey or ham. 865-4411. 865-4411.
Honey, please get me a Honey Baked Ham.
We'll be back for 11:30 The Tiger right after this. The Cleanup Hour. Hitting fourth. First Choice Personnel. Make First Choice Personnel your last call. 797-7810.
When it comes to jewelry and jewelry repair, you want someone you can trust. How about somebody who's been in the business since 1976? Yeah, that's when Gary Bailey started repairing treasured heirlooms at Peacock Jewelers. Soon after, he opened his first store. Gary and Paul, they're still over there selling beautiful jewelry at Bailey's Fine Jewelry and repairing things that are precious to you. Bailey's Jewelers on East Texas Street in Bossier City.
Cantina Laredo.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to sound like Ricardo Montalban.
You're failing miserably, but please keep going.
Cantina Laredo, where you will find the most elegant gourmet Mexican dishes. Cantina Laredo.
It is pretty good.
It's really good. Oh, my, Ricardo Montalban or Cantina Laredo?
No, definitely Cantina Laredo.
Cantina Laredo in the shops at Belmead. Get your Ricardo Montalban on.
Oh, boy.
If you and your family are looking for a new place to go take your teeth, I suggest Cormier Family Dentistry. I'm telling you right now, you'll be smiling when you go in, you'll be smiling when you leave. Of course, that smile is going to look a lot better after they've taken care of you. Doctors Adam and Jana Cormier are absolutely astounding and outstanding dentists, but their staff also just makes it so easy, so nice, and literally so fun. That's right, I said fun. When you go to the dentist, you will have a good time. You'll get great work. Cormier Family Dentistry, 868-4072.
Hey everybody, this is Clint McCullough with Bayou Bell Waste. We have been the dumpster service provider for Shreveport-Bossier since 1997. Big dumpsters, little dumpsters. If you need a dumpster, call Bayou Bell, 671-9900.
You know, Roger, some people say I'm a ham.
Oh, a big old ham.
Oh, thank you, sir. When it comes to big old hams, you and I know there's really only one place to go.
Big old Honey Baked Ham.
You got that right. Honey Baked Ham, whether it's July 4th, whether it's Labor Day, whether it's Thursday. I'll take a ham from Honey Baked Ham.
Honey, please get me a Honey Baked Ham.
Southville Shopping Center in Shreveport. ShapenToyota.com. It's open 24/7. Ken Shapen Toyota, Highway 59 in Marshall, Texas, just off I-20. They will bring the cars to you for a test drive. That's what I said. They will bring them from Marshall to Shreveport Bossier for you to check out. Chapin Toyota. Swoop Stores. Of course, you'll find them on Industrial in Bossier City and, of course, Shreveport, right across from Home Depot off I-49 on Burt Coons. Adam Hester.
Yes.
You love Swoop.
I do.
You love the biscuits.
I do.
You also like the restrooms.
Clean.
Big.
Even if you don't have to go, you almost want to go because they're clean.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I don't have to go to the restroom every time I go to Swoop,
Sure.
but I feel like I'm kind of missing out if I
while
don't.
I'm here.
Why wouldn't I?
Sure. Go for it.
Same thing. Biscuits. Bathrooms. Don't miss out. Swoop. Want to remind you guys, every single Friday on the Tim Fletcher Show, we feature Forkum Friday guests from the Northwestern State University Demon Football Squad. Oh, Brad Laird and the Demons are fired up for another fall of football in Demon Land. Forkum Fridays on the Tim Fletcher Show. The Cleanup Hour, hitting fourth. First Choice Personnel. Make First Choice Personnel your last call. 797-7810.
Where Shreveport and Bossier come for LSU Sports. 1130, The Tiger.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. 11:30, The Tiger. Tim Fletcher Show. Roger Hampton is here. Bailey's Jewel. That is such a good song. Nice little riff to get things started. Bailey's Jewelers has got your Christmas shopping complete. You can take care of it in one fell swoop. Bailey's Jewelers. You're going to love it. The little brown box from Bailey's goes a long way to making that lovely lady in your life a very, very happy person on Christmas morning. Gary Bailey, Paul Little are outstanding human beings. You're going to enjoy doing business with local folks who have been doing this, providing beautiful jewelry at really affordable prices for 45 years now, just about. Bailey's Jewelers, supporting the show. Going crazy. So that I can see you sitting on the couch in your robe, eating a ham and drinking a numbnuts.
Maybe here in the next hour.
Yeah. Jones says, too much information on the ham. And by the way, as far as the numbnuts, here's what goes into the numbnuts at Daiquiri Express. Cherry juice, Hawaiian ice, fuzzy navel, amaretto sour. Nicole says it is delicious. John joins us on the Mudbugs Hockey Hotline. Hello, John. What's up?
Hey, man, I just had a couple quick questions I've been missing.
Fire away.
I was wondering if Northwood was in the playoffs.
Yeah, Northwood is in. We have Jim on, is it tomorrow or Thursday? Thursday. We'll have Coach Gatlin on with us Thursday. But, yeah, Northwood is definitely in. They are right there on the border of hosting a playoff game. They need, if they win Friday, they will be in as far as a home team on the first round.
Yeah. Another thing, I just wanted to say I appreciate you. Yeah, I've been listening to you for years, ever since you was at Channel 6.
That's a long time, John.
Yeah.
You've outlasted one marriage, you know? So
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man. That's very nice of you.
You know, you're kind of up there getting up there with Bob Griffin.
I'm chasing him. That's not a bad one to get after right there, Bob.
Yeah.
Set the
I
standard.
really like that coach in Northwood, too. He's almost special, you know.
He is. He's a good dude. Gatlin's a good man. He tells it like it is. Appreciate it, John. Northwood Falcons. Playing pretty well. Now, they may actually have what is today? Tuesday the 5th? Wednesday the 6th? Their game with Red River's Friday. Yeah, it's Friday. Pardon? Hey, Daryl, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, man, don't y'all forget the big rivalry, oldest rivalry in Louisiana, Homer Haynesville Friday night.
That's right. Later in Paris
Super
Super Bowl.
Homer's going to take them back, but Haynesville squats nothing this year.
Haynesville is they're hurting.
It's still getting nothing, man. That's terrible. At least we score on Calvary and give up that point.
This will be maybe one of the more evenly matched Homer Haynesville games we've had in a while. So
Been a while.
Yeah.
Homer got the better team this year. I think we'll get it this year. So anyway.
we'll see. Star
But
Johnson.
we're in the playoffs, right? No matter
Homer?
what winner. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah,
We should host if we win district. We should host. Well, Calvin got district, but we'll finish second. We might host the game, eh?
Homer right now looks like they are in it to host, but they're barely because only 24 teams are in the deal. And I think the top. Oh boy, don't give me the line. I can't remember how many teams get a bye in the Division One.
Yeah. Well, I know we're ranked 9th, and Haynesville ranked 7th in the state, 1A.
Yeah.
So we'll may host something. Anyway, have a good one.
All right, buddy. Let's see the 1A bracket last year. How many teams got a bye? The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The top 5 teams got a bye. Top 6. I'm trying to see where the 6th seed is. Last year, top 5 teams got a bye last year, and so that meant the 12 seed did get a home game, and that's where Homer is right now. Haynesville looks like they're in for a home game. Logansport would have a home game. Homer, if they beat Haynesville, guaranteed to have a home game. If they lose, then they could possibly not have a home game. Plain dealing with a win needs a little help. They could move their way up towards having a home game. So there's a few things left to be decided. Bayou Bellways Trash Text Line. Bama Doug, if you're going to the game Saturday, brush your one front tooth. LSU's beat down on Bama. It's coming. 318. You could go back to the same well once more to Arkansas and grab the current SMU coach. Ha ha. I like Sonny. Sonny. Quickly learn that someone mentioned Mike Leach. EH did. Leach would be fun, but in the SEC, you can't. Every team would score 50 on the Hogs.
Yeah,
can't do that.
Yeah.
In the Pac-12, you can get away with that because not every team has the horses that you find with every team in the SEC. I don't know how Arkansas would be able to compete week in and week out with a defense that is just a sieve, So as much fun as it would be to have Mike Leach there, I don't know. It would just be it'd be tough to think that they would be able to compete. This will make Hester happy. Who is it? The Athletic I was looking at that has their bowl projections.
Oh.
The bowl projection from Stuart Mandel. Stuart. North Carolina.
Yeah.
Versus Washington State, speaking of Mike Leach.
Oh, his head might pop off.
If he could get to have Mac Brown and Mike Leach.
Oh, my gosh. I thought you were going to say North Carolina and the Longhorns, Herman versus Mac. I really did thought you were going to say that somebody's predicting North Carolina and Texas to face. And they could. They could.
If the Walk-Ons Independence Bowl rides off into the sunset with Walk-Ons as the title sponsor in their final game, and they get North Carolina and Washington State, that'd be pretty good.
That'd be pretty choice, man.
Bucko says everyone's scoring 50 on the Hogs anyway. Well, I know that, Bucko, but they're not winning. Lane Kiffin to the Hogs, I would rather not. I think Kiffin I don't know if he's that good of a coach. Again, he's gotten he can't win in Conference USA.
Yeah.
He came in there in that first season with basically a roster full of transfers and JUCO kids, and you can put a Band-Aid on a bullet wound and it'll stop the bleeding for a second, but eventually it's going to gush out your liver. Pretty soon your spleen and your intestines are going to be on the floor. And you're going to be like, well, you know what? I probably should have gone to like a real professional and had this taken care of instead of letting someone put a Band-Aid on this bullet wound. Wasn't that a Smashing Pumpkins album? Butterfly on the Bullet Wound? Thanks to our wonderful coaches for being a part of our show today. Buddy Matt Yoder. First Choice Personnel, 797-7810. Make First Choice Personnel your last call. Mudbugs Hockey Coaches Corner tonight at Red River Brewing, 7 o'clock. Be there, be square. Soupy and the boys. 1200 Marshall Street, Brewer Quality Homes. Thank you. Landers Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. Taco Bell. Chapin Toyota. Chevyland. GBT. Bayou Bell Waste. Campers RV Center and Power Sports. The fun life starts here. Porter's Cleaners, in by 9, out by 5 at all locations. Northwestern State University, Walk-Ons Bistro and Bar, Swoop Stores, First Choice Personnel, Daiquiri Express, AccuTemp. Thank you, Rapolo, Sports World, Bailey's Jewelers, Red River Brewing, Chillin' Hill, Cormier Family Dentistry, Jimmy V's at Cinco de Drinko, and $2 Taco Day, Honey Baked Ham, and Walker Spring and Break. Officer Payne, rest in peace. Thomas LaValle, batch 1284, rest in peace. See you, kids.
There are thousands of miles of utility lines and gas pipelines buried just beneath the surface, sometimes multiple lines in one area. So if you or a contractor you hire is digging a hole to put in a new fence or a pool or for any other reason, you run the risk of hitting underground lines even by digging just a few inches. And then what happens? Maybe knock out power to your neighborhood, and